Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I went upstairs and more or less told Brittany, like, she's like, "Oh, how's the session going? You're up here early." I was like, "We recapped last week," and she's like, "Oh, yeah." I was like, "They found some herbs. Recap last week." She goes, "So you gotta like stay focused for the rest of the session." I was like, "As soon as we go back down there, I'm gonna immediately start into being like progressing the plot." She goes, "So you gotta like waste more time?" I was like, "Oh." She gave me that look.
Nice.
Yeah.
Judged her well.
Y'all know that look. All right.
Well, we made it to the location, I believe, without issue, is what you said before.
Correct.
Good, good, good.
All right. So, anyways, why don't we? Oh, by the way, Neil, just a quick side note. It is very likely my wife is going to get hauled off to prison after murdering Messi. So, if you ever meet her, wear a name tag. Hello, my name is not Messi.
Oh, yeah, because she keeps confusing you too.
Okay.
How could she confuse us?
Both Florida man.
Not at all.
So, anyways,
Messi's at best discount me.
okay, there you go. All right, continue with the game. So you guys go walking into the area, which I didn't describe yet because I wanted to make sure you guys were all there. So as you're moving throughout the swamp, there's a whole bunch of different areas. Like, so swamps have a whole bunch of like small little, almost like wet areas, like sodding areas where there's you just kind of like tromping through mud. Areas where it's completely dry. Areas where it's kind of like a good bit of wet around with like hills and whatnot. Kind of you can move between to keep to the drier spots. There's a whole bunch of creeks and whatnot that happen to go through there. There's many different types of flora, like a whole myriad of different types of trees and draping vines, etc., etc. The area that you happen to be coming through, it's one of you guys happens to see from not too far off, but a bit of a distance, maybe a good like 80 feet or so. You notice a break in the trees where it looks like, oh, hey, look at that. There's like draping vines and whatnot here and there, but there's a bit of a break in the trees that's over there. That's not so bad. As you guys approach to the area and kind of like, cutting down your last vine you need to cut down to be able to get inside there. And they gave you machetes, didn't they? For you to be able to. Did they offer this part of equipment? If I didn't say that, they would have offered you, probably each a machete while you're traveling through the area. Either way. So when you're traveling through, you kind of cut down that vine, travel the next like 15 feet or so to get to the clearing.
I like to imagine that, like, instead of using the machete, because I've got the armor spikes on still, which can be used as a melee attack, he literally just like moves the spike to like off here and just cuts it like that.
Nice. Yeah, it's just like kind of like pull them all in from elsewhere to put it there. I can't remember what anime character had the ability to like shift around spikes in their body, but it might come to me eventually. So as you guys cut through an edge of the clearing, I want to be clear. By clearing, there's still a canopy overhead. There's still a bunch of trees overhead. There's still a bunch of trees all about, but it's a little bit of a hilled area. So the ground does rise up, and the top of the hill, the most crested part of the hill, is going to be a bit harder. But the lower parts of the hill is still a bit soft as you're walking onto it, because you do stuff like lots of mosses and whatnot that happen to exist there. Half the hill has a bit of a creek that's going around it at the bottom. But what jumps out for the most part at the hill that's over here is the cropping of statues that are all about. And there's a good number of statues that are over here.
Oh, no.
And when I say a good number of statues, just like a quick glance into the area as to what it is that you see or notice of the statues. Wow. It's literally a beard hair that had stabbed itself between skin cells. I had to pull it out.
Sharp beard hair.
Yeah. Oh, that's why you never walk around. Never go get your hair cut in flip-flops. The hair can get underneath your sandals and legit puncture through your skin and cause infections. Yeah.
How realistic do these statues look?
So when you're looking at these statues, I'll get to the description of them in a moment. So you see the statues kind of like propped all around the mound in all different kinds of like poses and whatnot that are there. They're all made out of it. Seemingly, at least at first glance, they're all made out of a similar kind of like lighter gray type of stone. That's all about there. A type of stone that, if you looked at the rocks that you're walking by in the region, looks like they weren't necessarily. Looks like there's not necessarily a difference in color between the larger rocks that you see in the area and the ones that these are maybe like quarried to make these statues from. The statues that you're looking at are all bipedal humanoid forms, without again moving into to see too much detail. And so you're kind of like standing on the edge of this, looking up at the mounds that you see before you, and a good number that's there. And just again, as a quick surveying glance, you see maybe 36 statues that are inside there. As you guys are moving in, you're welcome to see what it is that you do see of the area.
Okay.
What are we rolling? Sorry.
So if you guys want to start moving in and looking about them, you're welcome to make a. You really don't need to make any checks quite just yet. You can just kind of like, I would like to go and investigate the statues, and I can give you the most obvious stuff before we actually start rolling.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very well, actually, you know what? Galen doesn't know any of the shit I know. Galen would be looking around for hostile movement. Just looking for movement anywhere.
Sure. So you would not want to immediately go into the cropping. You would decide whatever your commander or Tristan
If he would stay near wherever they're going, and he would just be watching for any movement around.
Cool. And this
Just
clearance,
head on a swivel.
This clearing is probably one of the easiest areas to travel through for what's his name, Carrick or something like that. In a while. So maybe even Tristan would immediately lead the horse over, so like where the creek is at the bottom side of the mountain, to allow the horse to have a good drink while he starts to do his own thing. You staying on the edge to start kind of like just try to taking in the surroundings. What is it that Jake and Neil immediately do?
Carrot's drinking, so Tris would check around in the more local area. And also, this is, as you pointed out, a creek for drinking from. Nice running water, which you don't necessarily get tons of clean water in a swamp. He would glance at the banks of the creek, see whether there's any distinct footprints, marks, shapes.
As for me, if Galen is keeping a lookout, and Triss is kind of on guard himself a little bit, Viggo will pull out a sketchbook and just start to do a quick sketch of what he sees.
So staying on the side of the before even going towards the mound, just kind of like a quick sketch of like the a distance view of the 36 or so things that he sees there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So he's not going in to like get a closer look. Let's say that one more time, Neil. I'm so sorry. Just a quick thing.
Carrot's drinking at the creek.
Yep.
He'd look about in the general area to make sure that Carrick's safe, and then he would also lean down at the creek, looking for footprints and other marks, because this is clean drinking water. Look for other marks along the bank.
So you're going to survival. Tesh, you're going to perception, and Jake, you don't need to roll anything because I don't think you have like craft art, and you don't need to make the intelligence check or anything like that. You're just keeping notes.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay, Neil got a 16. Thank you. I was looking for that one. So with a 24 perception, looking about, you could of course see the statues are over there. So one of the first things your eyes would immediately go to is kind of looking across those statues because the warning that you were given there. So you'd want to immediately kind of like look across them and see if anything seems strange about them, which by the way, nothing seems strange about them at all. So you just see the statues kind of like sitting there, they're statues. And then you also kind of like looking in, trying to take in the area about. One of the things you do notice is because, as we previously said, this is kind of a cleared area. So it's an area that's relatively easy to traverse. That means that one of the things that you might notice here, yes?
Sorry, I have an idea. Once we've done with this, sorry, this was just once we've done with this, I have an idea.
Okay. One of the things that you might seem to notice in an area like this is that a lot of like smaller animals or animals that you take advantage of like the harder grounds to move quickly, will actually kind of like come through here if they need to go from like A to B a little bit quicker. Kind of imagine a squirrel running across a road, right? But at the same time, you have other creatures that are predators that you can see about, like birds and whatnot, or like snakes that are inside the area that are clearly know that this is an easy travel spot. So it's a spot where they can maybe more easily find themselves a meal. So your perception check actually does take into the sight that there are natural fauna that happen to exist here that are maybe not the most kindly. So you're pretty quickly able to kind of take in, all right, let's just be careful with our footing here so we don't accidentally go stepping too close to a snake nest or something like that in their area.
Yeah.
But you're able to make enough of a mental note of them that that's safe. Beyond that, honestly, Teshino 24 is a pretty big number. There's nothing really that you see that stands out here as being strange or out of the ordinary. At least not from your vantage point, right? Neil, for you kind of like crouching down and looking for prints while taking maybe a bit of a drink yourself, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary here either. I mean, little markings or whatnot you would see, markings that you would see of other, again, natural fauna coming to the area to utilize this creek. Much like if you went near a creek in, say, like Maine, you might see a moose prints near to it. You see something similar to like that here. Whether or not you could identify all the creatures is an entirely different conversation, but you do see the little markings here and there of that. Once again, the whole place is teeming of life. It's a healthy ecosystem in this swamp. Anyways, Tesh, you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, so what I'm actually going to do is while we're sitting on the edge, I'm going to do almost like a pulse of my suit, turn it off and on, because I'm going to separate Virgil from the suit.
Oh, yes. That's so cool. Can you describe this for everybody? So as a starter, describe what you look like and then describe the whole scenario.
Yeah, so normally the suit's got like Virgil's crystal sort of mounted in the center of its chest. And what he does is he brings his hand up to it, and like the suit breaks away from Virgil. Virgil would then step out onto the hand, and then almost like it would reform where Virgil was, and that pulse would go across his entire body because he's immediate action ending his suit, and then swift action putting the suit back on again.
Yeah.
So it is a pulse of the suit, and then he's gonna put Virgil down on the ground and send him in to scout stealthily.
And how does your suit change aside from Virgil coming out of it? Doesn't that change kind of like it's like some of its crystalline nature or whatever it is?
The biggest difference would be that it's probably looks a little bit more humanoid. Like the face is probably a little bit less solid. It's a little bit more like pulled down to his features, but otherwise and like arms, similar sort of thing, a little bit pulled more towards the thing. Looks a little bit less like a creature, more like a person that's crystal.
Yeah, you went from being a crystal golem to a gimp. Gotcha.
That wasn't where I was going with it, but fine.
That's all right.
Anyway, so he lowers Virgil down and sends him in.
Mm-hmm. That's the first time they saw this version of the suit, right?
Yes, that would be the first time they've seen this version of the suit.
Mm.
But they have seen Virgil separate, so they at least get to see that.
I like the idea of a bit of sketch of like showing your character as like your character wearing like the suit, then the crystalline version of the suit, and like the medium suit, and then like the heavy suit, but those ones just kind of sticking with the crystal. It almost shows like an evolution of your character across the suit. And technically, there's 6 versions you can wear because of the crystalline aspect. It's kind of fun. Anyways, so back to the game. So you kind of like taking these sights and sounds and everything, and you send Virgil in himself. So what is it you guys kind of do from here?
So basically, I want Virgil to go up to the statues and sort of investigate them. Just have a look around, see if there's anything around the statues before we go in ourselves.
Did you ever describe beforehand how it is that Virgil is able to move of their own volition?
Yes, I remember he's got the 5 crystal legs, and I showed you the picture of what the
That's
ing,
right.
If you've seen the ing in Metroid Prime 2, that's how he sort of moves around. That sort of structure of legging.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that alone is going into start investigating the statues. Yes.
Say again, sorry, I missed the first part of what you say. He's going
That
into
alone
investigate
is
this.
allowed to is going to investigate the statues.
Yes, because he has a really fucking high stealth check.
Cool. So why don't you go ahead and roll for me for that creature a knowledge history.
Knowledge history. Hey, that's his best one. And this is with +1 on it. 10.
Rolls trash. Goes around.
Yeah.
And is kind of
Virgil
able to-
has rolled trash like crazy. It's sad.
And because it is not a very smart creature, go ahead and roll me an intelligence check on it. It's not
Yeah,
smart
he's
yet.
got to get a
It gets
couple more
smarter.
levels. Yeah, 0 intelligence. Yeah, he gets smarter later on. He's not as smart yet. But at least he won't. Hopefully, won't alert anything.
You sent Virgil in to go and investigate them. Whenever I say the word Virgil, by the way, it makes me think of Mighty Max. If you get that reference, good on you, mate. So when you
That was bad.
get on you, I always have to get on you, and I'm like, all right.
Smortant. Yeah, look, Virgil will get smarter. He gets smarter as we level.
So it goes in there to look at the statues. You said, like, Virgil, could you
Would
investigate?
you
these
believe this is the variant that is smarter than the normal variant?
Yeah, we actually there's rules for psi crystal archetypes or familiar archetypes that we applied to the psi
Archetype,
crystal.
yeah.
And this one is actually the informant, I think is what it's called. So it's actually the
Yeah,
smart
it's
one.
the smartest of the variants, and he's living up to it.
It loses other features like the ability to apply touch attacks and stuff like that, but it gains
Yeah,
this instead, yeah. But
Yeah, I
that
also
doesn't
don't
matter.
get the
Lower
assist feat
natural armor.
automatically.
Lower natural armor. I think you lose alertness or something. But anyway, so
Yeah.
moving on, you more or less in your mind you say, Virgil, can you investigate this for me? And Virgil kind of into your hand as you had kind of just said, and
Just
goes
swoops
in.
off, walks into a hole and like a crack, like just hits his head and then
Virgil walks in, looks about the different statues, probably a good maybe like 8 or 9 of the statues, kind of like here and there, and it's actually like several minutes pass as Virgil's moving through the area and taking them in. And then I imagine you're patient. You wait for Virgil to do what it does because this is safe for you and so on and so forth to do this. And then eventually Virgil kind of like responds back in your mind and says, "These are statues, very old statues."
Well, old is at least slightly new information. Come on back. Basically, actually, the last thing I would do is get it to make like a perception check to see if there's anything around the statues that's like lurking. I don't expect high things from this, but perception. Boop.
Remember, chat, they don't do crits.
I rolled
they
really
screw.
bad again.
Yep. So you notice nothing lurking or hiding from this different vantage point of specific.
Can I at least do a stealth check? 'Cause
I mean, but is it being stealthy though?
yeah, it would be.
Okay, so when I said several minutes, it was actually a good 15 minutes you spent waiting.
Okay.
for this to happen.
Stealth is something he's actually good at, and I would be getting him to be stealthy.
So what is because I imagine what's your face, Jake? Your character is no problem, just kind of like because anybody that does artwork that does drawings with something that can be erased and kind of like added on to and whatnot. Oh, we'll just continue to fiddle with his art and make it better and better and better and better and better. And because he's doing this for the sake of record keeping, I imagine he's applying annotations and whatnot to his art as he goes, as opposed to just like, as opposed to just like sitting there with his thumb in his bum, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But what is Neil doing as 15 minutes pass after you've already like you took a couple of those minutes you spent kind of like checking out the tracks and whatnot. What is you doing in the meanwhile? Roll your stealth check there.
Okay.
Trace like spends a little while checking the tack on Carrick, making sure he's all correctly placed as it should be. Give him a good pat, and then they sort of migrate around the clearing. And Triss like picks various choice bits of foliage and hands them off to Carrick, who eats them. And like you could see like the half hob and the horse sort of migrate around this clearing slowly as he's like, you can clearly see there's some form of communication going on where like he'll select certain bits and they're not acceptable. And he'll select other bits, and Carol's like, yes, very good.
So you're just kind of like having a moment of letting the horse, because the horse, you were riding it as you were moving, and it's difficult walking through swamp. Hooves aren't made for muck. You know, they sink very well. They're sticks in the mud. So they
You get some real plunger action.
yeah. So you're allowing Carrick to like get back some of its strength and whatnot, rest it a little bit, having a kindly moment with the horse, which is a good thing. All right, so back to you, Tesh. It moves, sneakily moves over, spends a considerable amount of time, as we said, and then sneakily moves back.
Yep, and he would do the same thing, reforming it into the suit and going full crystal again.
Okay.
And just
Yeah, it's like the double pulse, where it's like,
yeah,
and reforms. Yep.
As that happens, it's probably coincides with the same time. Viggo just snaps his notebook shut, puts it away in his pocket, and then he'll turn and say, anything to report? Anything around?
nothing new. Nothing attacked him.
No mod.
What? Dude, nothing new
to report.
Oh,
Nothing
my
to
bad.
tell you about.
Thank you. Yeah. Nothing new. Statues
I
are
want
old.
my BP.
Oh my
damn
god,
it.
shush.
The statues are old as about all they could tell. Have to get close to get a better look.
I
Nothing
see.
attacked
Well,
them, so that's a good sign.
that is good. This is what was reported to apparently have caused the deaths and attacked was these statues. Whether or not that is what attacked, well, that's to be determined. So I guess we should check them out at
I would-
least.
I would advise being on guard. Virgil may not be the sort of thing that these creatures are looking to attack, if it is some form of creature.
Yeah, my thinking as well. Triss, Gallon, be ready for movement.
Oh, yes. So I guess we're moving in.
Yeah, we'll move up to the statues.
So as you guys move into the statues, one of the things that you're going to notice immediately without making any checks or anything like that, instantly you're able to kind of take in the fact that these statues are it kind of breaks down into two different groups of statues that you see here. Yes, Neil.
Is this area covered, or like is it a reduced size entrance? Just thinking for Karok. Or is it just like
there's no entrance.
Cool.
It's
Good.
a hill.
Good.
like an open
Good.
field
Cool.
sort of
Yeah,
area. Almost.
exactly.
just wanted to make sure.
But with trees still here and there and about and whatnot, because there's still canopy cover. So
Oh,
it's just not
okay,
as
yeah.
dense. Yeah.
Cool.
It's not as dense as Carrick is, right? So
that's
I mean,
better because I wasn't imagining
he's a
it right
thick boy.
anyway. So that
He's
works.
literally like, I don't know, 500 pounds? What's that equate
He's
to?
a big one.
of just like pure horse muscle. No lasagna.
Am I wrong?
Moving on.
I've come to appreciate you. What's he up to? What's he doing?
All right.
See,
So-
I will say at least, chat. See, Virgil's good at one thing: stealth. He'll get a little smarter as we go, but right now he's good at stealth.
So anyways,
Yes.
you are make your way inside there. One of the things you notice almost immediately is that these statues are kind of in two different types that are here. First of all, like I said beforehand, they're all humanoid form. As a matter of fact, not only are they humanoid form, I'm trying to pull up the right thing over here. Where am I? Yeah, my apologies.
A hobgoblin.
No.
We
So
don't
not only
care
are they
then.
humanoid form, it's actually a mix of different statues that you see there. The mix being a combination of humans, hobgoblin, and hafue in nature.
Oh, Hafue. That's an
Yeah.
interesting one.
Yeah, and the funny part
Is
is,
an
it's
interesting
one of those things where it doesn't the hafue kind of at first you're like, wow, these are some weird small statues you didn't notice at first. And mind you, your stupid thing didn't even notice them beforehand because he rolled so poorly. He even picked that up for you.
Oh, bless.
But either way, the there's humans, hobgoblins, and hafue at first. Again, you wouldn't even necessarily have noticed the hobgoblin and human difference, if it was the fact that you have a person with a hobgoblin parent amongst you and a parent which looks pretty darn human parent amongst you, who can pretty quickly differentiate between the two traits because the statues are so old, they're so aged, right?
Oh,
they seem to
they're
be
worn
comprised
down,
of
yeah.
that similar kind of like stone. But so they could see like the edging on them is kind of like lost its definition a good bit. If there was any form of coloration that was added to them, or maybe if you had like some sort of metal plating put on here and there, like sometimes you would like almost make like a liquid gold and paint it on by mixing with other like alloys. You can make almost like a liquid paint of different things. Any of that kind of stuff would have been worn off over the. I mean, we're talking about a swamp here. Moss is growing on parts of them, stuff like that, right? But again, the big difference between the two different groups is that you see one group that clearly look like soldiers. And when I say soldiers, I mean these people are walking around. They have like really nice falxes and like medium to heavy armor on them. Like they clearly look like trained, almost like elite soldiers that have like the fine armors and. Does everybody here know kind of like what a falx looks like with a huge kind of like bent back blade? Right, cool. FALX if you want to Google an image. But a falx is like a very long, very hard bend inside the blade to it. So, but like even those statues that have like the falxes on them, you can imagine like even the blade itself, like some of them broken almost down to the hilt. The other one's kind of like up near the edge of it because it's the most exposed part of the statue. It's the least supported. It's clearly not cared for who knows how long it's been, right? Like that part of the stone is clearly like broken off, so on and so forth. But then there's also another type of statue that looks, again, nothing like those. Instead of being statues that are wearing medium to heavy armor and these long, beautiful swords coming off of them and almost seem like they're positioned very similarly to one another. It looks more like people like bare-chested or almost or completely naked in poses that suggest a virility to them. Kind of like almost like Wolverine face. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Does everything look like it's in combat?
I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, if you had to guess by looking at it, they all look like they have that, almost like it was an homage to, almost like a warrior like culture to one degree or another. The thing that strikes you as being different is that there's a stark line between soldiers and others that happen to be here, which kind of strikes you as, again, unique or different. And again, both of them look very aged to whatever degree. First thing I want is you go ahead and for those that are kind of like looking at the finer details of the statues, what it is that you think you can kind of take in about the details of the statues, you can go ahead and roll me a perception check. For those of you that want to focus more about like trying to like think, ponder, and yes, you could full round action, the statues and the significance of them, you can go ahead and roll me a knowledge history check. If you're doing a knowledge history, by the way, you still get a perception because you're still taking in sights, but you're just going to take like a -3 to it because you're distracted by trying to take in everything else.
So I would like to be doing what essentially what Viggo instructed me to do, which is like I'm looking for danger. I'm head on a swivel, keeping an eye out while he studies the stuff. Essentially.
Absolutely. So you're gonna get your perception check, Neil.
I mean, these statues are cool. Like he likes how they show all these different races as great warriors, but they're statues. He needs to look around to look for danger.
Sure. Go right ahead, sir.
Karok would also be on guard. He has the scent. What's it? Sense
Trait.
FYI.
Yeah.
So you want me to roll two, a
Oh,
perception and a history?
1 second. To be clear, it's scent. Scent in places that are as intense as a swamp is actually a little bit less effective. So when you actually read the scent feature, there's a radius of scent, and then there's upwinds, downwind. When you're in a place as strong as a swamp, pretty much everything is considered upwind because there's just so many odors that happen to be about. Unless this is like a place that you're native to, you know what I mean? In which case, obviously, that wouldn't affect you. But either way, Karok, even with moving about, not just staying in one spot in case something approaches, hasn't given you any signs of anything. Like you can imagine as being a horse, is definitely alert to a lot of stuff. It's a prey animal. They are hyper alert. Back to you, Jake. Yeah, you're gonna do a knowledge. What's it called? I almost feel bad having you roll the knowledge history first because it's the one you care about more, and there's already been 2 really high rolls. Like roll 20 is gonna work against you on this one. I'm
They
so
want
It's
the
going to be a
history first?
19 next.
They,
It's gonna be a
they,
19.
they stole the good rolls on like the
Yeah.
important check. So you choose the order, but it's a minus.
Oh, that's goddamn.
Is that a 28, Jake?
Goddamn.
Oh,
No, I put the 2 in already.
Plus 15. Woo!
Plus 15 for what? Knowledge history?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that includes his
It's
his
insane.
lore gem.
it's Lord
Yeah.
Gem.
His nerd jam.
What's that perfect recall?
He can recall things that have occurred to him or happened to him perfectly.
Is that a reference for
That's a
auto
guess.
hypno? Is that auto hypnosis, Jake?
Oh, mate.
Yeah, perfect recall is
oh.
on you.
Auto
If it's
hypnosis,
very
it's memorize.
you
You can roll to memorize.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh no, yeah. So he doesn't have that. You have that.
Yeah, I have that.
Oh yeah, it allows me to add double my intelligence. Yeah. Which I
Oh, to what?
Woo!
Oh wow.
to
Really?
knowledge checks. Yeah.
All knowledge checks?
Yeah.
Boy.
That's broken.
Are there,
That's strong.
Like in a good way.
yeah. Oh no. Having a character that knows stuff is it makes it more fun.
Fantastic.
Especially
Oh,
since
yeah, definitely.
out of all the campaigns, you guys are the ones that'll. Well, out of all the campaigns, you guys are the ones that are now the most lore focused. It was a moment there where Thronekeeper was maybe fighting you for that spot. Like, you know,
What's Thronekeeper?
Wow.
apparently
Clip
a
that
cat-
and send that to Josh, please.
apparently it's just a cat picture posting site. So, you see to have like Thronekeepers now. It's just a cat sitting on a throne with like a crown. Sideways and a
I'll
head
be
looking
honest. I
unamused.
feel like Doxy would approve.
She would. She would.
She would.
Yeah. She would.
All right, let's get to this history.
She'd want it to be her cat, and then we'd be like, "No, Doxy, you're the kitty here."
You
All
keep that between yourself and the candles, young man.
Actually, I keep it between me and Josiah. You don't know. Which, by the way, apparently he's not feeling well, so get well soon.
Yeah,
yeah. Back to game. So one of the things that you noticed, so first and foremost, walking around and kind of like taking in the site, Jake, actually, your character is disgustingly educated.
the fucking fly.
That joke, like in the film where the dog just runs on and goes, "Squirrel!"
Yeah.
God damn it. Let me use my phone as a weapon.
Hitting it like that is going to do jack shit.
Dissuade it from hanging around.
It really won't.
I want one of those.
Just give
one
up
of
and
those
let it land on you a couple times.
Yeah, let it get what it wants, and then it'll leave.
it wants my lights. And they're the bright thing in my face, so it's distracting because they're like literally my source of light. It's
It
like,
wants your
"Nah."
lice. You have lice. Let it take them, dude. You don't want
Lice.
beard lice.
Lights. Do not use the phone as a weapon. I don't think that.
Back on track. God.
Oh dear.
Scott.
Sorry. Bothering the hell out of me. Renee, come eat this fly.
Come meet this fly.
Eat. Nice. So bothering. I want to get one of those things. You press the button, it goes and use it for killing flies. It shocks the hell out of them, makes them pop. I want one of those. They sell them at like Walmart this time of year. All right. So I once did that, and I accidentally hit a bee, and the bee did not die. It was just like, I am dissatisfied. And it was like, oh shit, I better get it again. And so it was like one of those. You like use that to. I was like, oh shit.
God.
Yeah. Well, because you saw something buzzing, so I whacked it, and I was like, "Oh no,
Monster! You could have.
I was indoors. No, I was indoors, and I just electrocuted a bee. That was not going to go well.
Like those scenes in films where like they damage a poor innocent creature, and they're like, "It won't survive." Covered in blood, you know.
Yep. Mind you, all it had a stub toe. But
Scott, give us the fucking history.
So, Jake, it actually takes you a little bit looking at this. You're like, huh, this armor, these weapons. Falcons? Falcons are not very common seen weapons. They're useful in combat if one is using them well, if they've been properly trained, but the craft of them is tedious. It's difficult. Oftentimes they get warped. They can be easily broken if you don't use the right alloys. This is an unusual weapon to have, though we are in Vala, close enough to the mountains of some quality metals. So that would add to things. The age of the statues, the way that the armor sits on them. Oh my gosh. This is the falling kingdom of Avalonia. And you kind of like taking it back for a second. And it's one of those things where you're really thinking to yourself, like, Avalonia. Avalonia, I remember this. Avalonia was a kingdom that fell a good while ago. Oh, it was an interesting thing for you, because one of the things that my brother always told me, I need to make sure I don't just study things to its end. If there are any phrase in the knowledge that I learn, to continue to follow those strands to their end as well. Because sometimes you can find a whole new ball of yarn out of just strays alone, and that can be interesting in and of itself. Avalonia is one of those places that it's kind of ridiculed for in parallel history as being savage people that are kind of like living on the brink, incredibly savage peoples that had no culture, had no way about them that was really worth noting, so on and so forth, right? So kind of one of those things that they needed to be civilized, they needed to be brought into the fold, that we're improving their quality of life, where we're bringing them the culture of the parent. It was an earlier conquest that happened centuries ago. You remember reading about this. And certainly looking over at the other statues that are the bit more feral peoples, this does kind of go in line with what it was that you remember originally being taught about. If you had only seen these other statues, you'd be like, oh, well, look at that, the history books are right. But you remember rumors, little tidbits that were not directly put into history books, but almost like annotations or side notes of different historians or note keepers or records that were being kept at the time that weren't, shall we say, sanitized over the years of history being kind of like written and rewritten as you get further and further from the primary sources, right? You have to notice that there were more to the Avalonian people than just being these feral savage people. As a matter of fact, maybe they weren't even savage at all. It's believed that they had a very close tie or link with the lands. They had a very strong connection with the animals that happened to live in the region that they lived in. But as far as you remember, the kingdom of Avalonia, it wasn't in a swamp. No records in either the official record keeping of Paradel or the side novels that you've read, books that you've read and whatnot over the time ever mentions them living in a swamp. Actually, their lands were taken because they were flush. They were taken because they were known to have like a good amount of like growth and whatnot to them. They could actually properly be used to have good farming and whatnot there. But again, these savage people weren't using the farming as needed. So that's what was taken. But as much as that may be the case, that kind of like drops off in the books itself as well. But the reason why these other statues kind of like catch you off guard is because this culture, while known as being savage, so on and so forth, the side notes of like commanders that happened to come into the area at the time also talked about this type of elite guard that happened to exist that were very well trained with these elongated weapons. You actually distinctly remember one commander suggesting that the weapons seemed to stretch on for miles, seemingly these endless length to a constantly curved blade, having a bit of a sheen to them, almost reminding you of the pale moonlight of a crescent moon. Kind of like this kind of romantic way of describing them, and how their weapons like they've never seen crafted beforehand. So it's potentially even the first time a Falx has ever been encountered by the Perrin or Paradel before. You know, of course, their history having maybe not the first iteration of ever them existing, but maybe the first time they ever encountered them. But these elite guards were actually incredibly difficult to overcome in combat because of their strategy, their understanding, their unity, so on and so forth. It stands in stark contrast to the typical depiction of what the people of Avalonia were originally like. All this strikes you as strange because you almost see like two sides of the same coin. You almost see like two depictions of the same people that happen to be here, and it strikes you as strange there because of like how high you rolled and the unique feature you have of perfect recall. At this point in time, Jake, and I will veto your answer of being able to answers I might be willing to give you. I'll allow you to ask me 3 questions about the people of Avalonia, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability for what it is that you can recall about them.
Okay. I don't know whether this is the question or not, but do we know where Avalonia was exactly?
So if we're actually looking at the map, and I think if you actually exclamation mark Paradel, is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oop, thank you.
So if you're actually looking at the map of Parenhia, you obviously know where you guys are on the map, right? If you're looking at Parenhia border to Vala, you look at Merrick, so north of Merrick and south of Hakov, there's that little strand of what you call that comes off. You know that that's there. All you know is that Avalonia was somewhere inside of northern Parenhia. That's the only thing that you know for a fact. And the reason why you know it's in northern Parenhia is because the lands are so fertile that that's where a lot of the farms happen to exist. Which again, if you think about where this is the southern hemisphere continent, the further north you go, the more continuous sunshine and warmth you get, the more growing region you get, so on and so forth. So you know that it's somewhere up there, but exactly where it's located, I mean, that's one of those things where the edges of that are kind of lost in time. As record keeping got better, these older records from these earlier conquests are kind of lost. And we all do know that while the Perrin did come out of Adir, which you could also see on that map, they erupted to the east before they went anywhere else. So they would have erupted east, creating Parenhia, or what later on became known as Parenhia, and then kind of rolling northern from there to the areas where they can not have to deal with winters and whatnot as intensely, and so on and so forth. So this would make sense for a location where it'd be earlier. Maybe you just found it. Anyways, continuing.
So another one is, what do I know about the fall of Avalonia?
So again, the place needed to be cleansed of the people because culture needs to be brought to them. I shouldn't say cleansed to the people. That's not fair. It needs to be brought to the culture of them. So there were countless.
We must tame the savages, sort of deal. I imagine the campaign would have been.
Yeah. I mean, so some say that they the people, even though they fought against this land as much as they could. They fought against these like savage people as much as they could. That again, where this depiction of like feral, they're not feral looking. They just have like this like feral nature to them. And again, I don't want to make it sound like they sound animalistic. Not like that at all. Just again, that like kind of like faces on them, like war faces on them. So this depiction here is actually really good. Bare-chested, borderline naked, with no weapons in hands. That's actually a really good depiction of how it is that suggests they were fought in the battlefield. Because as uncivilized as they were so uncivilized they weren't willing to even bring themselves to the talking tables of diplomacy or to surrender. They had to be more or less broken down to the last. While obviously not every individual person was slaughtered, it's said that the people that did remain kind of like stayed hidden amongst the trees and whatnot, making themselves into even more feral, even more animalistic peoples, kind of hiding in the woods. You know, bringing themselves into almost like lost cultures that were found in between there. Some even have stories like that the lines between human and beast were kind of like blurred and whatnot, or that these people even became vengeful spirits and stuff like that. Some believing that, you know, inevitably they kind of like leaks themselves into Eldamar itself, you know, kind of like bringing themselves into Eldamar. But again, these are stories. You don't necessarily know that. But going back to, again, the more primary sources, where it's more of annotations and it's less believed, one of the things that you know is that Well, yeah, they certainly were fought more or less down to the last, but again, it wasn't necessarily the lack of it wasn't because they were so uncivilized. It's actually just they were incredibly proud. They were a warrior culture of proud people. And then, bringing in mind, because you asked a question similar enough to it, a word comes to mind. Varangoi. Varangoi. I imagine almost like your character kind of whispering it to himself. Varangoi. He whispers it to himself as he like looks up and kind of like side eyes across the way as he's standing before one of the pharaoh statues, looking at one of the ones that has a broken bladed falx to it. That's it. That's the name. The Varangoi. That was the name of the elite soldiers, the elite footmen they had. And your third question, sir. Fucking fuck.
Oh, that's very
Dead in 2 days, anyways.
Right. That's a lot of information already. The third question, which I don't know if you've kind of answered as well, the one I was thinking of was anything about their culture. Like, could this resemble like a holy site or something? Like, is there anything? I'm trying to think of why this would be.
Nope. That's actually a really good question. So again, reading about it, this is actually a blend between primary source of one of the earliest people that was kind of like an earlier explorer that kind of encountered them, which is how they were known to be here in the first place. And you know how it always goes, that you'd have the early explorers met with the people, treated with them, dined with them, enjoyed laughter, and then later on the soldiers come in and wipe them out. I say this as, we are all British in our origins. So, I'm talking about our own personal cultures and how we affect things, because that's how the Baron did it. Moving on. And before the Brits, the Romans did it too. Typos aplenty. Oh, one of the things that you notice is that these people actually had a lot of religion, including like dancing and feasting, contests of prowess and stuff like that, including like typical early day kind of contest or activity to kind of like show off how supreme they were. And this actually comes to mind. Again, statues are supposed to depict the highest features. You're supposed to be showing forward, like you always see the statue of the soldiers always very pensive and strong-jawed and so on and so forth, trying to show off like the best of who they are. But they did really put forward a strong foot forward, and people being physically well. You know what I mean? So much like looking at like older Greek statues or whatnot, you could see like they're physically in great shape. You see that these statues are physically in great shape because it was something that kind of like put before themselves. But they actually had more of a worship of several different gods, kind of like shifting between which god they worshipped at the time, between like what season was the time it was. So it kind of shifted really between 4 different gods predominantly, but which ones they were, kind of like the details suggest. Well, there's Jurda was most likely one of them, and stuff like that. But it's hard to really pick. Drozam, obviously, for the winters, et cetera, et cetera. But there was a whole bunch of different worship that happened to be there, because they kind of enjoyed this sort of a thing. And I think that kind of answers all of the questions that we're able to give to you about what Avalonia is like, and kind of like what these people are like. And then that's also, I have to remember, tie in something else later on. So this is something that you're kind of getting here. But while you're taking this in, again, this is not a short period of time. While you do have perfect recall and your character is absolutely brilliant, it does take time for you to do this. Why don't we go ahead and have in chat, we'll have some dice rolled for me for how long it's been. This is how many hours are spent kind of like looking this, not hours, my apologies, that's unfair. This is times 10 minutes. How long has been there? Could we have Neil and Tesh each pick a person to roll a d6?
Okay. Viking still in chat. Viking, you didn't do me wrong before. Do it again.
Still.
It pays to be Australian in this watching the stream. Oh boy.
I choose Aussie adjacent.
D6.
D6, yeah.
Oh,
I
beautiful.
I choose Viking. Viking is the. Oh wait, no, that was Syl. Okay, I thought it was Viking. Viking.
Vikings
You
would be
know?
like, oh,
Viking. Yes.
By the powers of Australia and New Zealand combined.
Oh boy.
a native culture is wiped. Oh,
Oh.
Oh.
No,
Do you
this
want
is
to
them,
talk? What are you
them
talking about?
rolling. This is them rolling minimal amount of time to recall as much as possible about the native culture.
because how recently it was just. Oh yeah, I gotcha. Yep, I gotcha.
By the powers of Anzac combined.
Okay. So
Now I want Anzac biscuits.
I know Anzac.
They're really good.
They're so good.
Mm.
And when you say biscuits, I assume you mean cookies.
Yeah, Anzac biscuits are savory. There, they were what they used as like a really easy way to give people nutrition,
Probably.
and then they just came back with them, and now they're good. They're just so good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, these people.
Did you ever make them like for home ec at school?
Yes, very
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah.
Like, these
presume
people
you
are so
basically
dumb.
make
We
a
need to
biscuit.
force feed them nutrients.
You make a biscuit and then you bake it a few more times, basically, so that it's really dry and it stays. I'm guessing that's the origin of an Anzac biscuit. Because if you want a biscuit to last a long time, you need it to be really dry, i.e., like
No, it's
sailors' biscuits.
He's asking you, boys. He's not asking me.
I don't know enough about the origin of them. That's not that they're. I mean, they're usually pretty crunchy, but they're also
They're not
depends where you
dry.
get them. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not dry, but they're crunchy.
Probably the commercial ones aren't.
Tesla is so low right now. It's one of those things where it's pre.
Buy.
Oh, it's pre-market for me in the United States for another 17 minutes anyway.
Oatmeal biscuits.
I just got pinged how low it is.
I love oatmeal.
It's like
I'm not
crazy
gonna
how
lie.
low it is. Like I'm looking at my
Yeah,
average that I buy in was, and I'm like, oh boy, it's hundreds of dollars less than my.
I know
average
that
buy-in.
much. Yeah,
So,
it's probably within there. Yeah,
Really small size. You know what was often in World War II or World War rations? Drugs, amphetamines. Like they just had packets of them. Like, open this when your officer tells you to open it. Have one a day when your officer tells you to have one. Like, and it's super common throughout because like if you ran out of food, what would keep you going? Drugs.
to answer your question,
you
Joey,
were close,
by the way.
Neil.
Oh,
You were close, Neil. It's not that it's dried out so it doesn't spoil. The ingredients alone don't spoil easily, so it was great for naval transportation.
There you go. To answer your question, Joey, if it's a patty, it's a burger. If it's not a patty, it's a sandwich. That's the way it works. Because if you think about like a sloppy, like ground beef, burger. Ground beef patty is a burger, but sloppy joes are sandwiches. They're literally manwich.
Pants of
Like-
chocolate.
So
like
again,
Let's not get into this.
but
That conversation.
it's very
The
simple.
whole-
If it's a
No,
patty, it's
no,
a burger. If it's
no,
not a patty, it's a sandwich.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not because it's
But
a
this-
definition that
but-
we decided to make.
Yeah. I just
Definitions can be changed, Scott.
You can't say it's the bread. You can't say it's the bun because you can have a sandwich and a bun.
What if what makes a burger is the fact that it is conceptually a burger? Not
Yeah.
any single one of the components or combination of the components, but the fact that I believe it is a burger. Conceptually, I am eating a burger, therefore it is a burger.
Neil, people believe that Trump was the greatest president to have ever existed in all of humanity. But we can
In
all
America,
factually know that that's
So
wrong.
what you're saying is
This is why I
we
didn't
should
wanna get
by
into this.
default veto your opinion.
No, because that's not my belief.
Can I veto
what
this
you're saying.
conversation?
Oh, sorry, who's your PM? Who's your PM?
All right, let's keep going. Let's keep
Look,
going.
Yeah,
Look,
let's
mate,
veto this conversation.
Just because
okay?
your world leader didn't have the balls to rugby tackle a
Full
small
session!
Chinese kid.
Full session.
Sometimes you got to do hard negotiations, all right?
Listen, mine had the balls to be peed on by a whole bunch of prostitutes. Okay, that's what matters now. Okay, that's what matters. He's like, I am not beneath toiletry.
Chat, I give up.
Oh.
All right, so it's been one something.
I don't know. I don't eat Chick-fil-A.
It's been 20
because-
minutes.
It's been 20 minutes.
I don't eat
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A because they're
20
a
minutes,
horrible
wait.
organization that refuses to give things to their employees that they deserve and refuses to and donates to horrible causes. So I don't know what they serve on their menu because I don't go there. So sorry. Chick-fil-A's does everything wrong. So if your argument is based on Chick-fil-A, it's wrong.
You just
So-
compiled it in that last statement. You don't need to
We're done.
reiterate it in
Move
another
on.
way.
Okay, my apologies. All right.
I
Back
thought
to,
it was
thank you.
20
it
minutes.
It was times 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was
20
like
minutes.
20 because it was 2 ones. Is that correct? Or was it 2 minutes?
Oh, I'm so sorry. It was supposed to be times 10, so 20 minutes.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, what are you talking about? So 20 minutes. Yes. All right, cool. Joey asked me later because I honestly have to look them up.
I can see him like reading the chat and resisting
He's
the
trying
urge.
to not talk about it, but he's like, must answer chat.
20 minutes. Been 20 minutes.
So you
We're talking about sandwiches for 20 minutes.
sandwiches indeed. So you make your way to so you kind of like taking all this stuff and whatnot, and you kind of like taking this in. And I imagine your character actually even is kind of like, do you like describe some of the stuff as you go? Do you talk to yourself, like mouth?
He talks to himself. Yeah,
Okay.
no, he flat out talks to himself.
So similar like how I was almost semi-RPing as your character, kind of recalling the information. Some bits of that would have been picked up by the others who were listening. Probably more Gallon than
Virgil,
Tristan.
honestly, was more likely to be listening than me.
Yeah, Rose was like, "Can I chill with him for a while?"
Yeah. We haven't gotten into it yet, but
Virgil's like,
imagine-
I sense another great intellect, if you'll excuse me.
It's like when you're friends with Neil, then you realize he has a really hot sister, and you're like, "I'm gonna go hang out with your sister, no reason."
but like we haven't got a chance to describe it yet.
That's
But I
like,
imagine
"Oh,
like whenever Gallon's given something to read, he literally hands it off to Virgil to read.
Wow. All right, so
Give me the cliff notes.
speaking of hot sister, hey Swirl. So you make your so you are kind of like describing this stuff to yourself, so on and so forth. But then looking back at your other checks there, so obviously you had individual checks, but you were also kind of like the primary person searching here was actually Gallon. That was very clear, with Tristan kind of like running the periphery and Viggo adding a little bit more on there. So it might come as a slight bit of a surprise to you, but the DC that I needed was a 31. And Gallon had a 27, and Viggo
Didn't
gave
spot the
you
ghosts.
a +3 is a 30, and Tristan gives you a +2.
Yay!
You spotted the ghosts.
So as you're being
That's a hard check for this level.
it is, and for a reason. It's not just me being mean. So as you guys are kind of like spotting in the stuff, kind of like taking in the sights, so on and so forth, whatever it is. One of the things that you notice as you're talking about them, noticing them, so et cetera, et cetera. But one of the details that you happen to notice, specifically Viggo, and you probably will kind of mention to yourself, it is strange that it seems like the statues of the soldiers at arms are a little bit older, a little bit more aged than the other one. Equal amounts of moss and whatnot, and certainly an equal amount of wear and whatnot happening. But these ones seem to have significantly more, not just cracks in them. Those are all there and chips in them, but breaks, like actual breaks. These other ones seem to be holding up better. Like this one over here. Wow. Its nose is legitimately missing. That one's missing an ear or a finger. Somewhere on the ground about, certainly, I imagine searching for it for an excavation could be fun, but these other ones seem to be, for the most part, wholly intact. That's one of the things that he kind of picks up. And then Tristan, one of the things you notice as you're moving about and everything is you can actually see that, as we mentioned beforehand, there's good bits of moss that happen to grow up onto the ground, the good bits of muck and everything that's here. You can actually notice that while the my brain's not working, while the muck and whatnot that's on the ground doesn't seem to have there doesn't seem to be like tracks beyond what I'd suggested beforehand. One of the things that you notice is kind of like walking about, just kind of like taking in things, looking like you're looking about here and there, you're looking down, you're walking through in between the statues. The eyes are kind of trains down, but also about as well. One of the things that you notice is that you could see over by like some of the statues. It almost looks like, it's weird to say, but it almost looks like they shifted. Like at one point in time, they may have been on this location, but then like maybe got like somebody pushed them over a little bit. It almost looks like where the toes are imprinted into the mud, like if it got pushed back because of like just like shifting mud or whatever it is, like the actual toe print that they're in is like back by say a half inch or so from the actual edging of it. You know what I mean? Kind of like if you put your feet inside the sands, but don't get quite back into the same spot, right? So you kind of like noticing like that, and maybe it's one of those, that's weird. Looks like the ground is shifting beneath these things, you know. And you probably like say it about like, look at this, the ground is shifting, or how it is that you kind of pointed out. But it's actually Galen, who's like extremely perceptive and hears those things and is constantly on high alert and whatnot, and trained to expect the unexpected, because he literally is something that people don't expect, right? And it's actually him who kind of like feels almost like vibrations in the air through his crystalline body. He almost like feels like the grating of stone, ever so slight here and there, or something that maybe a typical person would be able to pick up the frequency of that sound. But he kind of almost feels that resonating through his crystalline form. And then he kind of looks over and he swears. He swears as he looks over, he notices one of the statues nearby shifts ever so slightly. Like it's one of those things where as Viggo is walking between a couple of statues moving, as he walks kind of like around one that's, you know, maybe a good like 15 feet away, the statue's kind of sitting there and just kind of like, you know, with its feral face is kind of like, and then as he walks by, it kind of goes like one of these like just to make sure it maintains like sight on him as he goes. And it like it's
really
one of those,
creepy.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, one of those things where he kind of like notices it and it's like, oh shit. And so at first he
Back
sees
away, statues, back away.
You say that as like a loud thing, back away, statues, back away.
Yep, and then like he'll like that's like what he would yell immediately, and then as he's like preparing for combat, it says,
One of the statues moved.
No, so take that back. So back away,
Okay, yeah.
statues, back away. That call, that immediate call to alarm or to arms, because it's so like obvious and out there. It's funny. I thought this is the moment you're going to use missive. So as it's so immediately
"Oh fuck,
out
I
there,
should have."
it immediately triggers an initiative check for everybody.
Yeah.
You're right. I need to remember I have that.
Yeah, that would have been the perfect moment to be able to utilize.
That would have been amazing. My bad.
Because you could have gotten the drop on them, but instead it's even playing field. So everybody's
My
welcome
bad,
to do
guys.
this.
My bad. Me no think good. Oh well, at least it's not a surprise round on us.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
there's that. And I'm so mad that 20 initiative didn't happen. That was so close.
Oh, I wasn't even looking at the dice as they rolled. It is upsetting when you're like, oh, come on.
It sat on 20 for like a second and a half and then rolled to the 14.
All right.
I'm mad about it. Ooh. That's a cool icon.
Oh yeah, it's just a statue icon, but yeah, I'm gonna copy pasta it in 1 second. I don't like to have the icons on there, though. I should honestly put them inside the GM layer just to make things easier for myself. I don't know why I don't do it in advance. Probably because I'm a dummy. But okay. As for how many of these things that are here, I as a DM like to allow a little bit of randomness or chaos to it. So does somebody want to go ahead and roll me I'll flip a coin, 1d2, to see how many extra of these are here? Because it's going to be it's a 1d2 plus.
So for clarification, it's the barbarian ones that are moving?
A d2 doesn't exist, so it's any die. I'm sorry, I don't think I have a d2. Yes, it's the barbarian ones that are moving.
Cool.
Any die is at even odds on this one, guys. Don't care who. All right. Cool. 2. Steve gets extra chaos, and auto reinforces that chaos. All right, so it's 1d2 plus 2. So 4 of them appear. So you guys are actually outnumbered by creatures that seem to be comprised of stone. This is not a simple scenario, not something you could easily defeat, of course. So this is what happens. There's a large mound, as previously discussed. On this mound, there's about 3 dozen statues that you happen to notice that are all over the place. There are things, as I just depicted to you, blah, 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 blah. But then you happen to notice that back away from the statues, back away. And as you start to, Viggo, of course, immediately reacting, backing away. Tristan, I imagine, immediately grabbing to the hilt of his blade and drawing it forward. Both people kind of quickly reacting to what it is that they need to do. Instantly, did I still not pour it in my initiative macro? God damn it, Scott. Why do you suck so hard? Sorry about this. They immediately start to jump into their own degrees of action. I'm going to roll for their initiatives off to the side. This is going to be plus initiative. Oh, they have a big plus to initiative. All right, I'm going to /R 1d20. Jeepers.
Jesus. Jesus.
And a natty 20. Wow, I rolled insanely high, and they put extra bad guys here.
Uh-oh.
Okay. All right. So immediately jumping into to the dangers of this, to the combat, right? I'm gonna do the full stretch. No, we can keep it smaller. We can just see use up the 2 up next afterwards. So anyways, so immediately jumping into action. Back off, back away, back off, back away. It takes away their ability to catch you off guard. You guys are not caught off guard. Technically speaking, the first round of combat, you are supposed to be flat-footed unless you have an ability or otherwise it allows you to eliminate that flat-footed ability, like uncanny dodge or like a spell or feature to get rid of it. So you don't know how many there are or exactly where they're coming from, so your characters are flat-footed in this. So Jake, you specifically, the one that kind of shifted to go watch you, it's kind of looking, seeing you as you're talking about them and noticing them. And it's kind of around the time where he has already talked about the feet or whatever, and you're sitting there and you say to yourself what was the name? It's kind of around, but you're kind of putting two together at the tail ends there. You say to yourself, Barangoy. Huh. Barangoy. So these aren't. And so that's where it shifts, and it's back away! And so immediately jump into action. One of these ones kind of jumps forward to go specifically attack at you, sir. So I do apologize, Jake, but it's gonna give it to you.
Fucked good. Sorry.
That was
At least it's not a surprise round.
So immediately it rushes forward with its move action, breaking from its freeze that it has for an ability. Immediately rushes forward as its move action and starts to attack at you. Going immediately for its gore attack, which means it runs forward and immediately just tries to headbutt you as hard as it can. So this is going to be a /R 1d20 plus 7 against your. I don't know what your flat-footed AC is. I don't know if a 14 hits it or not.
And a 14 is my flat-footed AC.
Yeah, I know Neil did deep throw that mic a moment ago, didn't you? Is it really?
It was for a reason.
Sure.
I wasn't just doing it because I wanted to do it.
Oh, at least it's minimum. So you take 3 points of damage as the creature immediately rushes forward and grabs at you, kind of holds on to you, right? So you're kind of looking at this person that's here. As they smashes their head into you, and immediately after they smash their head into you, they're going to then attempt to grapple you. Now, I do not have a improved grapple as a feat, so I do not have. It does provoke an attack of opportunity, but you don't have a melee weapon in hand, so you don't provoke.
No.
So he doesn't provoke from you, so he's going to be able to do a CMB against your CMD flat.
Is the grapple part of his gore action or whatever it is?
This is actually his second action. He got the
Oh, was he the nat 20?
Yep.
Oh, great.
Yep. So his movement and then a single attack, and then his next action is to grapple you. 1d20 plus, what was it? 9? Did I say so? Sorry. I'm gonna move this over here so you do a quick back up.
Jesus, 1d20 plus 9.
Nope, plus 7. All right, this is against your CMB, sir.
Yep.
What I roll? Oh, an 18. I assume that hits your CMB.
Yep, it does.
Awesome. So you can see all of a sudden this creature, one of the statues, immediately rushes forward, and as it's rushing forward, it does this like quick, kind of like as it takes like 3 big, weird-looking statue movement steps forward, moving quicker than you imagine a statue being able to do. It kind of like its last step, kind of like it does like a double foot, like a leaps forward, 1 foot out, like you imagine like a almost like you're leaping over a like a obstacle on a track course. I forget what they're called, but the leapy things. And then you a hurdle, like you're leaping over a hurdle, but lands 2-foot plant, crouch down, and then thrusts its head up into your chest, kind of throwing you backwards as it slams its head into you. And as you're kind of like stumbling backwards again, the ground here is kind of hard, but your foot hits a bit of slippery ground. You start to slip backwards. Immediately reaches out with you with its other hands, grabs onto, and kind of like pulls you into itself, kind of like having you a bit of it at its mercy. So that's what the first one immediately does as it runs forward. Another one who, as you're like, calling out to Viggo, back away, the statues, back away. That one actually takes a quick couple steps up behind you. You hearing it, or once again feeling the vibrations near enough to you. You kind of like turn to like look in there, but it's a little bit too late to notice it, as it's going to attack at you, sir. So again, it does move to get to you, so it doesn't have a full round attack or anything like that. That's going to make a single attack against you. It's going to claw to you. So this is going to be a flat-footed AC again.
That misses my flat-footed AC.
And your flat-footed AC is low. Because you're a
My
dex-based
flat-footed AC is
character.
13.
Yeah, because you're a dex-based character. Ouch, that was so bad. Because I moved, I only get the 1 attack. So they missed. And then it's actually the other one who actually gets the because you were the more periphery, you were actually a bit down the hill. What you end up seeing is all of a sudden, like looking at the stuff happening, like what the hell is going on? You immediately drew your sword, looking about, trying to see what the hell is happening. Then all of a sudden, you see when you notice a statue coming towards you, what ends up happening is the statue actually climbed up on top of one of the other statues to have like the sword onto it. And as it's kind of like climbing up to it, you can actually see like a bit more of the statue starts to have like a crumbling coming off of it because the sheer weight of the thing climbing onto it. You see a bit more crumbling coming off, and it literally kind of jumps off of the statue that it was climbing on top of and jumps out and into the air, trying to bring its way over towards you, Neil. And you're sitting there thinking to yourself, either it's going to hit the ground to keep running at me, or holy crap, this thing knows how to jump. Like this is, quite the leap because of the distance between you and it for it to be able to get to you. But mind you, as it kind of like does this leap outwards, it accidentally once again clips one of the swords and breaks off most of the rest of the sword that happened to be there. But it doesn't just leap. As it's flying across the air, you can literally see part of its whole backside, literally a stone of its backside, kind of like reaches up out from behind it and produces these large stony wings with a big like
Holy shit, they are weeping angels.
these large stony wings with a big like as it continues to move itself towards you, and it's going to deliver its attack like with a big large with almost like a flying double kick to you is what it's going to try to go for. It's like almost like a swooping flying double kick towards you.
Yeah, holy fuck.
I'm going to make, and so for you, sir, this is actually going to be a charge attack. So I'm going to get a +2 chance to hit. So I get a +9 against your flat-footed AC. But I get a -2 to my AC with this one.
Oh,
Funnily enough,
my
that does actually hit.
yeah.
I got to roll to confirm, though. I got to roll to confirm. It's Pathfinder, boys. And that's gonna confirm.
Just
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so I can roll double this. So I'm gonna /R 2D.
Well,
so hopefully you survive this one, sir, because it's a critical hit for the first attack. It's a charge attack. It makes sense. So quite the land on you there, sir, man, boy, sir. Quite.
it's
the
one of
land
those
on
like,
you.
oh, it's gonna land and keep running, and why is it still coming?
yeah, it grow wings.
Yeah, it was a pretty rough one, that there, sir. So yeah, you it does this like flying. Oh, hi, love. 1 second. flying kind of like kick at you, using its wings to pull itself higher. And smashes
I'm going to use
into
this
your
opportunity to quickly run to the bathroom while he does this.
chest. Think about burning my hand.
First crit against us now. How do you feel?
10 damage is it's a fair bit. It's a fair bit.
Yeah.
It's not what
green.
you want.
Green. They don't have luck. This is session 3, as a reminder, because we had 2 half sessions. So I'm going to refund those after I'm done with all this, but you can't utilize redemptions. So.
But we
I just didn't
appreciate
turn them off. Yeah.
We appreciate it.
I'll refund those as soon as I have time. Back to the combat. So you, sir. Oh, by the way, what Brittany made me, because my wife is amazing. She mixed up some batter, made some homemade waffles. My favorite way to eat waffles is, or pancakes for that matter, is with bananas cut up on top. I usually do like half the thickness of these bananas, but she knows I'm a thick boy, so she gave me some thick cut. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Back to the actual combat, though. Good, she wasn't around to listen to
I
that.
think I just took more damage from that.
That's where the critical hit technically came from. So back to the game. So you take this like flying kick, which immediately sends Tristan kind of like reeling backwards, and kind of like as he like regains his footing down and kind of the muck down below, you can imagine almost like very quickly your horse kind of was nearby to you. It kind of like shifts its weight over, so you kind of slam your back into the horse, it holding you steady so you don't fall, because Kadok's always got your back, unlike Rena. So you you're able to kind of like hold your footing, and then you look down at yourself and you realize that wasn't just like a against your chest, which certainly hurt. It's sharp. The goddamn stone is sharp. It clawed into you. I don't remember what kind of armor you wear, but you see
Metal
cuts.
plate.
Okay, so you see like scratches all along the metal. You probably heard the sound of stone against steel. Like that's
A
fun
horrific noise.
Yeah. Yep. Bootyful. Yeah, you feel that in your vibrations there, Tesh. And now finally it's one of you guys' turns. I got 2 natty 20s. I'm back, boys. I'm back. All right. Gallon, it's you first. Oh, you guys don't even have names on here. I'm gonna see if I can make this a little bit easier. So
It displays my name on my turn order.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
not
same. It
for
shows
not for
mine.
chat.
I'm
gonna fix it. Okay. So Gallon, you get to go first. There's one immediately adjacent to you, but obviously you see your other friends are in harm's way as well.
How far
How
away
far are they
is,
from you? Perfect. Yeah.
So Viggo specifically is the one I want to.
Yep. Vigo is one that you were kind of closer to and calling out. So Vigo himself is actually only about 15 feet away from where you are. With the one that he's fighting being adjacent to him, also 15 feet away because of anger. Right?
It's grappling him, right?
It is currently grappling him. There's one immediately adjacent to you, and then you have Neil is a good bit down the way off the side of the hill. He's 25 feet. So if you're east and Vigo is 15 feet west, Neil's 25 feet north of where you guys are, to where he is. And then you also happen to notice out of the corner of your eye, there's another one moving as well, but you are no longer flat-footed. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. What happens if I grapple someone that's grappling someone else?
So when you're grappled, you both have the grappled condition because you're grappling. If you choose to grapple that person, you just get to go against their CMB to kind of manipulate them as well. So you enter into the grappled position, and then you can start trying to manipulate things as needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
So
I
you
want to
can
basically
either-
try and grapple the one off Viggo that's grappling.
And then you and Vigo, you guys, one of you gives a +2 to the other one.
Okay, well, I am gonna try and go free Viggo of the grapple. I'm gonna take the attack of
you.
opportunity
Thank you,
just
Gallon.
to run
Chicka-boom,
over.
chicka-boom,
Thank you.
chicka-boom. Hey, this is the
Because
grapple
I
feat.
remember I have the armor spike. So
Kick
as
you
he's,
with
like,
my grapple feet.
he runs full tilt, and he's now actually like he's able to move his full speed because he's been walking at 30 feet, to keep pace with everyone else. But he has 40-foot movement, so he moves a little bit faster than you're expecting. And his arms go up, the spikes rearrange into sort of like jagged blades on the bottom of his arms, ready to grab it, trying to like get into the grapple with this thing and pull it off Viggo.
Absolutely. So here's a big thing. If you're moving away from the one that you're in melee with,
Yep, he gets the attack of opportunity.
you don't have a way to avoid that.
No, I don't. Because I can't do the 5 foot and then move, so I'm just gonna take the attack.
It didn't charge attack or anything, did it? No, so it's just gonna do a basic claw attack, I think, against you. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a basic claw. Actually, you know what I want to do? I know claw makes the most sense. I was gonna say I bite. I'm gonna do a basic claw. That makes the most sense. What are you doing?
What are you doing,
Oh.
Scott? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Just roll 20 is not going up. +7. Yeah, this is a really good chance to hit too. We're at least not flat-footed anymore. 19 is really high though.
Yeah, that is gonna hit.
Yeah, a +7 is a really good chance to hit. Sorry, sir.
That's
all right.
fine.
Damage to you is.
Oh.
That's actually only 6 because I have 2 DR.
Oh, that's right. You have DR too.
Yep.
And, stone on crystal is a lot better than stone on. By the way, we have 2 different waffle makers because Rory got one for Christmas for somebody once. So I have a small waffle too.
So yeah, now I'm gonna try
How much
and
you
to grapple this fucker that's got Viggo.
Okay.
And when I do the grapple, it does the damage too. So
Yep.
I'm gonna
So the
Roll
you
that damage up.
CMB.
so CMB,
Here's the important thing: because he's already grappled, he technically, because you don't have improved grapple, he would get an attack of opportunity. But because he's grappled, he loses the ability to do that.
Okay, sorry. Oof.
Ooh, 13's really low.
But I'll do the damage from.
Hold on.
thing.
I think you have to actually successfully grapple them too.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, you ran in and you rolled very poorly, so you do not.
I did.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So you rush up and you try to grapple him, but it just does not work out for you.
Oh well, at least I'm,
Yeah,
what's the-
no, that helps more than you know.
I'm engaged with him now, so he. I'm a threat. That's the one. I'm a threat to him now.
Snaga, you're remembering if I punch you while you're trying to do thing to me, that causes a penalty. But if you're attack of opportunity from moving away before even engaging, no, it does not. Back to you, Neil. So Neil, that one did that flying kick throughout the air with now wings sticking out of it. It landed on the ground itself next to you, so it's no longer in the air, and it's right there in front of you.
I mean, Triss staggers back against Karok.
Uh-huh.
Will it provoke any? As far as I'm aware, it wouldn't, to just use a move action to mount.
Flanking rules in all of Pathfinder. What, sir? Mount as a free action?
Yeah.
It's
a move
it's a-
action.
It's a move action unless you can beat a ride check DC 20.
I don't need to do a fast mount right now, so I may as well just take the move action.
Sure, absolutely. So you immediately mount.
That's correct, isn't it? Unless I wanted to do a full round, but I don't have extra attacks. There's no need. So he gets punted back against Karok and then turns and hefts himself up into the saddle, and then he will brandish his horseman's pick and swing at this creature's head.
Mm-hmm.
What size is this creature?
Medium. And you're
I'm
large
now on a large, so I
size. You
get
are considered large long, whereas it's medium tall. Like you, medium tall.
medium tall. That might impact it then, because
No, it's not.
I get
You still
high
have it.
ground bonus. Yeah, I still have it. Okay, cool. All right. So I get plus whenever they gain a bonus from flanking or high
Sorry,
ground. They
insert meme here.
He has the high ground.
Oh right. I'm busy trying to work out Pathfinder, dude. My meme brain is offline. Whenever they gain a bonus from flanking or high ground, they increase it by 1.
Mhm.
So is that a +2 or just a +1 in total?
A
Plus
+2
two.
in total.
Thank you. Cool. Thank you. I just need to check
Very
these
nice.
things because I don't know otherwise. Let's swing. That might not hit on a creature made of stone.
A chance to hit though.
Friggin'
Fuck.
delicious, love. Thank you so much. Oh, and eggs? Oh boy, I'll just it's like a restaurant. I got multiple plates to eat off of. Baby, there's a fly down here that's the size of Japan. It is. What?
What the
You're
fuck?
killing them? It's been bothering. It's been haunting me since last night. You see that box? That box is out there. So what happened was I eventually chased it out of the room last night, like while I was streaming. It was a whole thing, and then I shut the curtain and put the box there, so it was only kind of. And it still somehow got back in. Yeah, and it's something that was in here, and it likes my lights, so it's distracting because of the. I chased it around with the air can, trying to freeze it to death with the. Oh, it's Jeff
This is happening,
Goldblum.
chat.
Oh, I wish I could do Jeff Goldblum impersonation. Like Buzz Scott, Buzz indeed.
Look at this guy enjoying talking to his wife. He's a nerd down in his little dungeon. You should remember.
Sorry, you don't get the Jeff Goldblum
And
reference.
now I'm sad.
I didn't, but I do enjoy Jeff Goldblum in pretty much anything.
There's an amazing movie called The Fly. You need to watch it. It's old, but even though the graphics do not, the movie holds up.
Was it like when you were young? Was it out?
I may have been like not even born.
So it's in black and white, basically.
Actually,
zinger.
let's see what year. It was done in August. I was not even a year old when it came out.
Scott, combat.
You asked a question. I answered it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Neil,
I rolled a 17 in total.
Yep. A 17 absolutely hits.
Oh, it does. Thank God. I
Hey,
wasn't sure whether
nice.
it would on these boys. And I think
Oh God,
that's
if
just
they had that high of a chance to hit Anne's, that high of an AC, that'd be bad.
oh my god, if you
the
crit.
correct damage. I love this. I love this weapon just for the crit. I
Jesus.
just dink this boy on the head with the pick, and it just chips away. It deals 6 damage, unless they have a DI, in which case it deals slightly less damage.
All right, I'm just trying to finish putting these boys together for me. I'm saying this one's here. This one is.
And that, Norway, is why you're a venerable elder.
All right. So then you have what's your name? So yeah, you swing down at this thing and you actually do deliver a resounding blow, whereas your sword actually does drop down and cut into the creature.
Hey.
It actually.
Horseman's pick, not a sword.
Ooh, a pick. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Like you literally, it like chunks into this thing, and immediately it's like it reacts instantly. Like you don't know if it feels pain or not, but it reacts like it does. And it starts trying to get away, but you've got it like on almost like on a leash, like a rabid dog trying to get away on a leash, and you've got like holding on to the thing because it's picked into the creature's shoulder that you got it there.
Like it's only like that long, the tip of the pick, so that you can pull it out of skulls.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And it's designed in such a way, blah blah blah. So anyway, so it's trying to like get away, and eventually it just kind of like pulls itself out in such a way that it gets out. And you're just watching this thing, and you're just kind of like, oof, good thing that's not a living creature, right? Anyway, so that was your turn. You actually harmed it. Kudos. Where's Tristan? That's a after you is going to be the last one's turn. So the last one kind of reacts as it starts moving and whatnot, seeing how the battlefield's happening. Clearly, there's 2 over there with the 2 of you, and one of them just got on top of a horse. Not liking the idea of him being on top of a horse. It similarly is going to go, and it's going to kind of like run from the top of the hill and jump into the air. Wings coming up as well, and kind of like a flap of the wing to get it some additional height. And another flap of the wing to have it hit it to apex, and then it's going to like drop kick onto him as well. But this time it's actually not meant to be a what's the word I'm looking for? An actual attack. It's meant to be a Bulrush Attack. So.
Oh fuck.
And Neil, does Karok get an attack as well?
Not against something like this, but Neil, you would actually get an attack of opportunity because, to be clear, I do not have improved Bulrush.
So this creature next to me, like 5 foot steps away, flew up.
No. This is the fourth one.
different one.
The fourth
Yes,
one. Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Just
Just wanted to double check.
Bulrush? Yeah. Right. So Bulrush, the way it works is as part of a charge action. So they're going to do it as a part of a charge action. They're going to make the attack against you. They're going to do a CMB against your thing. So initiating Bulrush provokes attack of opportunity from your target maneuver. So the enemy being moved by the Bulrush does not provoke attack of opportunity. Because I am, it provokes attack of opportunity. It doesn't say anything about that attack of opportunity modifying the result, though. So if you hit the creature, you hurt it, but it doesn't modify. If your attack roll equals the CMD of the target, your attack is successful. Some maneuvers, such as Bull Rush, have varying levels of success depending on attack roll and CMD. Rolling a natural 20, it's always success attempting. So yeah, it doesn't say anything about attack of opportunity modifying the result, though. So you can go right ahead and make your attack of opportunity before I do anything.
Well, you can hurt it before it hurts you.
This creature is now. Am I making it as it's flying?
It actually.
So I
into the
don't
air and
actually
drop
have
it.
high ground.
Technically, it has
Yeah,
high
yeah.
ground on you. I have the high ground.
It's learning from you, Neil.
I like to roll under 10
Yeah.
consistently.
I know the feeling, except for perception. That's the only place I don't roll under 10.
Neil, I don't know if you remembered my saying this. It's doing a Bull Rush as a charge attack because I get the bonus for that.
It's a negative.
You're 14 hits.
Oh, nice. Okay. Donk.
So 7 points of damage against this other one.
Yep.
As this other one moves to attack you as well. We're gonna put this one here. And that's another minus damage from this creature. Beautiful. So you kind of like you get kind of pushed backwards, like damn it, and you kind of like hop up on your horse, drawing your sword. You slash down at this other one, see another one coming up, and you're like, oh shit! You just kind of like
It's not a sword.
Pick, whatever. you smash your pick into it, but it doesn't throw it off, and it is going to do its CMB against you because you don't disrupt that. It gets a +2 to its CMB because it has the Bull Rush going on. So you get a +9 against your CMD. All right.
Oh, it doesn't make my CMD.
Ooh.
Fuck yeah.
Really? So when you smash into the thing with I imagine with your little hook hammer that you have going on there, as the thing goes to hit you, you just swing up early enough to clip it into just above the ankle, right into like the bottom of the calf, right there, right where the tendon really starts to pull into your ankle. Just like smash into it, and just with all of your strength and momentum, just pull it just enough off course. It kind of like flies in front of you and flops down prone on the ground on the other side of you. It's a flying creature, so it doesn't have any damage from this happening, but it definitely smashes on the ground prone adjacent to you, rather than actually smashing into you. Neil, that was sexy.
Nice.
Viggo, it is finally your turn, sir.
I can take a standard action, right? That's all I get.
You didn't roll 91, did you?
No, he's grappled.
No, but I'm grappled.
Oh, no, you technically have your full round to do whatever you want with. It's just your move actions are limited. It's like you could draw a weapon if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You can even attack with that weapon that you draw with.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, we're in a bad situation
And
now.
grappled people are denied the dexterity bonus to AC. No, they're not. They just have a penalty to their AC. But he's now being grappled from the other side as well, so he's being flanked.
I didn't succeed grapple, remember? I'm just a threat.
He's still being flanked from the other side, though. My apologies.
Yep.
Which means otherwise you wouldn't be threatening.
Yeah, well, this is probably the first real combat Viggo has seen or been a part of. So you can see as this thing's got hold of him, he just starts scrambling, like he's pushing against it, and then realizing this kind of futile, he reaches into his jacket and he pulls out a vial. Now the vial is grey, and it just seems he pops it open and drinks it.
It's just cyanide.
And,
He's like, I'm out.
He's like, niet. Like...
Well, what happens next is he starts frothing at the mouth.
Oh my god.
It is cyanide!
And you see his face
Jake wants a new character.
it starts to elongate into like a short snout. His teeth become pointed like daggers. His hands kind of claws form on them, and the fingernails, pointed and sharp, come right out
Oh my
as he transforms using his mutagen.
Fuck yeah.
And that takes your standard action, correct?
God, I'm in a party of freaks.
Standard action.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm just a regular bloke, eh?
Good evening. This is Crystal Man and Beast Man. I'm the horse
I've
guy.
got a horse that flies.
Breaking the grapple. Do you get to try that
Norbert.
as a free action on your turn or not?
No,
Can't
that's,
remember.
that's a standard action.
It's
or,
just standard.
or
Well, then
any place
I
that you
can't do
can
anything
attack.
with my move, so that's all you can see. That's probably happening. That transformation is happening as his turn
Just,
fastest.
huh. From over the shoulder.
I wonder if you even really like. I imagine you're like, what the fuck? Like, you can't even really like notice quite what's going on because you're in the.
Oh, that's a good point. It's probably like, if I ever get a successful grapple, I'm like, what the fuck?
All right, that brings us back to the top of the initiative, wherein we have the
That dude.
Where we have an awful
The
lot
grapple
of
dude.
gargoyles. Way too many gargoyles at the top of this initiative.
Yep.
Is that
yep.
what these things are? Oh, that explains a lot.
So
That's my current working theory. They have wings.
Yeah, yeah, fair.
So you sir, back to you. You have the you have the one that was grappling you. You're like kind of as it's grappling you, and then your friend's trying to kind of pulls the arm off just enough, like to pull out the potion and throw it back as quickly as you can to make this happen, to get your mutagen going as it happens. It's funny you described it as being in a vial, but either way, so to make it happen. And you start like transforming. The thing, of course, witnessing this, you don't see on its stony features if it has any seemingly understanding of what the hell it is that you're doing or why you're doing it or whatever the case may be, right? You have no idea. But so it definitely brings, because there's a crystal guy behind it and now a feral thing in front of it. You're still the organic one. So they're going to continue pushing down or attacking you. So I'm going to get another CMB, but this time it's not just to grapple, it's to attempt to pin you, to be clear.
Oh no.
shit.
Oh no.
No,
Oh no.
not again.
Flump PTSD.
You don't get an attack of opportunity, obviously. You don't have any weapons out quite just yet. So,
I have natural attacks though.
but does your transformation take into the beginning of your next turn?
No, it happens instantly.
Ooh.
I just said that for flavor because I couldn't do anything else.
Give me 1 second.
As far as I know, I don't think it takes a whole turn.
Oh wait, you don't get attack of opportunity unless you're because you're
The
grappling.
peasant with a horse.
Because you're grappling, you
Sorry.
don't get the attack of opportunity. That's what it is. 'cause
Yeah.
the grappling
Okay.
condition.
Yeah.
The grapple does not deny your dexterity bonus to AC, whether you are grappler or the target. A grappled creature can still make a full attack. Being pinned does not make you flat-footed, but you are denied your dexterity to AC. Yeah. So let's see, pin. You can give your opponent the pinned condition. You still only have the grappled condition, but you don't lose your dexterity bonus to AC. All right, cool. So I am going to attempt to grapple you. Did I roll my check yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well,
I just roll it.
I don't know what that last roll is.
Oh, yeah, that last roll would be me doing exactly that. Yeah. My 1d20 plus 7 is my roll. So I get a 19 against your CMD. Did that increase with the change of your stats?
It did, but it's still not enough.
So still I pin you down?
Mm-hmm.
So my turn is to pin you. That is my turn. Okay?
Yep.
After that is going to go to the next one, which is the one that attacked you, Tesh. So obviously you had moved away from it. It is now moving up towards you. So because it had moved, like I said, 15 feet away, because it has to move that 10 feet or whatever to get there, it still only gets one attack against you. It doesn't get to utilize its full attack or anything like that against you yet. So I'm going to make my attack against your normal AC. It does not provoke an attack of opportunity. Therefore, you are not flat-footed to be not flat-footed. I mean flanked to be clear. So it's just a normal chance to hit against you.
Cool.
I assume
That
Swamp
does
does
not
nothing.
hit.
Beautiful. So it attacks at you and does absolutely nothing as you kind of like seeing what's happening before. You just kind of like moment, you know.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the other one that attacked Tristan, the one that kind of like flipped into the air, kicked him, knocked him back to the horse. That one now standing before you and your horse. It's actually do a combination of attacks. One of the attacks is the first thing it's immediately going to do is it's actually going to try to claw attack at Neil. So here's my claw attack at Neil.
Oh my fucking
Jesus.
god.
That's a hit.
Stop hitting me, Sky!
That one fucking gargoyle has rolled insane.
He rolled a 20 and then a 19. He hits.
Then he's gonna try to claw attack the horse because you're on it.
Okay.
17.
Let me double check Karok's AC. That will not hit.
That doesn't hit.
Karok's AC. No.
Nice.
What did they say? Out of curiosity. 'Cause I just have no idea.
He's got 20 AC,
Ooh, that's actually,
Damn.
which
Trying
is,
to-
funnily enough, the same as Tristan.
trying to claw at the horse and not working. It does not like the fact that the horse is there. It's now going to try to bite the horse. I'm just going to make sure my modifier is still the same. Yes.
How many fucking attacks do these things have?
Too many, apparently. I am going to use my mounted combat.
Got there all on his own. Good. No,
Once per round.
I mean this is a genuine kudos to you, sir. I was hoping you would know that. Good.
Yes, so I'm going to attempt to negate this hit with a right check. So I need to, unfortunately, beat a 25.
Yeah, but
Well,
it is
that's
Carrick.
cool.
So I don't.
You don't. So I bite the horse. I claw you and I bite the horse. So that is going to be to you 1d6 plus 2, and to the horse 1d4 plus 2. So to you is this.
That's a pretty cool feat, though.
It's a
like an
baseline for all of them.
essential.
Yeah. So that's what you take, and this is what Kadok takes. That's from the one that's on the ground.
Okay.
Cool. Now we're gonna go to Gallon's turn.
Okay, so knowing that he's in a lot of danger, if I do grapple this thing, what does that do to the next turn of combat? I can't in this turn. It's not possible for me to pull that thing off him, is it?
Yeah, if you can break a grapple, you can use a grapple attempt to pull him back up from a pin to a grapple. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I definitely want to try and pull him back up because that's very dangerous.
I'm just trying to wonder if there's anything else that you could do as well. Yeah, maybe not at the moment. There's
I
four
just
of
don't
these
know the
creatures, they're
mechanics
just semi
enough.
spread out and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
So I just do another grapple check on this thing.
yeah, if that's all you're trying to do is just trying to save Viggo as opposed to battle.
Well,
the other
I mean,
one.
luckily
Yeah.
my grapple checks are attacks still, so that's at least something.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. So that's true. So go ahead, you can grapple. That's a very fair point, sir.
Ooh.
So that is a what's that? A 16 total.
Yep.
I don't think you get any bonuses. Hold on, let me just double check and make sure there's no.
I
bonuses
rolled
on this.
exactly 10.
Let's see. Attack of opportunity from the target of your maneuver. Humanoid without 2 free hands takes a -4.
You'd think it'd be
Grapple
easier to
condition.
grapple someone who's pinning someone.
Actually, they don't have as many penalties when they're that way. Grappled condition is you have a -4 to dexterity, means their CMD goes down. -2 to attack rolls and combat maneuver checks, except for those that you made against your grappler. You can do that requires 2 hands. So actually, yeah, you do. With your 16, I'm almost positive that hits. With the reduced dexterity, you hit.
Hey,
Because
let's do some
its
damage.
dexterity dropped down, so you actually do hit it.
So I do 5 damage and
Okay,
a grapple.
cool. The 5 damage against the one that's against Viggo, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Beautiful. It's the first damage so far against that one. And you successfully grapple that one. So you and him have the grappled condition, and what's his face has the pinned condition. You really
Yeah,
are making a
I,
grapple Congo line. But your grapple check isn't
We
just
fucking
grapple him.
are.
It's to pull him back up. So you kind of grab down,
Yes.
you kind of like grab your like spiked arms around him. He's kind of like, "Ah!" And like you almost like you wanted to do a suplex.
It's
You,
like,
lift him back up.
you know when Sam pulls Gollum off Frodo? It's
Yeah.
that.
it is that. It really is.
And it's topical because he's from New Zealand. It makes sense. I like it. So, anyways, you Successful attempt. Anything else with your turn, sir, or no?
No, I don't have anything else to do other than that. I'm just trying to pull him off of him.
All right, perfect. Then after that's going to be Tristan.
So is it now grappled, grappled, and grappled, or is it still grapple, grapple, and pin?
Grapple, grapple,
I'm not
grapple.
pinned anymore.
Hey, it's grapple, grapple, grapple. Good. It's okay. Now this last one, now the one behind me has to grapple me.
This is the grapple beat.
Tristan's
So-
there like fighting too, and he looks over and
Yeah.
they're just hugging. And he's like,
They're literally just holding each other on the floor while Tristan's like getting the crap kicked out.
We love history.
Where are these gargoyles in relation to me?
One is immediately standing in front of you because it's the one that drop kicked you into your horse and then just attacked you in the horse. So it's like you can imagine to your sword arm, they're off the
Left
side of
side,
your sword
yeah,
arm. Yeah. And then to the other side, it had tried to do the drop kick, but like flops down on the other side. So on your right side,
On
the
the right side.
hex is diagonally in front of you.
Okay. So I'm going to run away because I can run a
surprise
long
there.
way in a single action. So Karok has the mobility feat. So he gets a +4 dodge bonus against attacks of opportunity when he moves out of a threatened area.
"Oh, that's sick."
So what I would like, I'll explain it to you, Scott, so you can tell me whether it's viable.
I know how mobility works, but go ahead.
What I would like to do is run away,
Yep.
turn around, come back, and lop one of their heads off.
To be clear, you can move and attack. You cannot move and charge attack. Understood?
Correct.
Mhm.
I could, because I'm not using any move. Karok is using move action.
It's when you're sitting on the horse, it's Karok. You use Karok's move.
Yeah. He's using his movement. I can still full action charge.
You cannot still full attack action charge while your horse is doing the
And
move.
how do you charge if you can't move?
Yeah.
and
Otherwise,
charge?
you can never charge.
You say horse, yeah, and you charge attack.
I mean,
Boom.
we'll look it up.
Isn't
but
that exactly
the
what he's
consensus
doing?
online?
No. I'm telling you right now. The way that it works is if you move, you cannot, including Fray 5 or step or anything, you cannot do a charge attack unless your movement is a straight line. But you're saying I want to move away and come back.
Yeah.
It's not a straight line. So it's a full attack action, move in a straight line. That's not what you're doing. You're moving
Okay,
away.
we'll look it up in between.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. But absolutely, you can do that
So I would take 2 attacks of
with a
opportunity.
lot of force, Joey. So you take an attack of opportunity from the one that's prone. Technically, it's an attack of opportunity, but again, not against you because you're not within reach. It's prone, but it can do it against the horse. With a what's the word I'm looking for? A -4 because it's prone. Does your horse have mobility while you're sitting on it?
There's no reason why it wouldn't.
Because it might not apply to the creature, it might just apply to you. But I'm going to assume it does. So that's a more or less a +8 to its AC. I have to roll a 20 to hit you, I imagine.
Oh my
Jesus
god!
Christ.
Well, it's a
That
good thing
hits.
that one's out of the way. That doesn't hit.
Oh no, because it's
That's-
got its -4.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So that counts as it right.
Fuck,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
close. Jesus.
All right, and this one is I'll apply the -4 on this side.
That's the one that's rolled a 20, a
It's against
19,
you.
and a 19. Like that fucker. He's the alpha.
That
Okay.
misses.
And this one misses it. So both of you guys are missed as you move away. Your speed is 40 feet. Right? No, 50 feet on the horse. 70 feet. 70 feet. So imagine you move away like a good 30 feet or so.
Yeah, before
turning around
wheeling
and
and
You're coming back exactly, trotting in, but not a full blown charge. All right, it's your turn, sir. You go right ahead.
That will be this one. I've got high ground, correct, on these boys still?
Yes, you do.
I'll stop asking every time, but while I'm less familiar, I'll still...
Unless they're large size, while you're on your horse, you are large size, therefore high ground. The only unique difference between large size long and large size tall is that when you are large, tall, or larger, your reach is two squares away from your token. When you're large, long, it's only 1 token away, but you have to remember. And so if you guys are looking at the little map that we're not using, if you look at large, long, when you're large size, you have a lot more squares around you. So instead of threatening, what's that? I think it's 8 squares. You threaten. It's like 10 or some 12.
This
or
would be the
whatever it
one
is.
I've already hit, by the way.
Of
Just-
course.
I should have said before, but
You technically hit them both, but you mean the one that's not prone.
yeah, I mean the one that I explicitly chose to attack rather than
Correct.
reacting.
And you definitely hit it.
Crunch that boy. Crunch him.
He could be
Yeah,
quite
Yeah,
nice.
crunch him.
9 points. All right, beautiful. So of course you rode back into melee. You don't have ride by attack.
I do have right by attack,
Ooh.
so I will continue.
Okay, so we'll say we're not going to say you moved back 70. Sorry, 30. We're going to say you moved away probably like 20 feet, wheeled around.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So you can wheel around and you rode in. You hit him. So that's 20 plus turn is 30 plus 40. So you're 20 feet past this guy as of right now. But of course, he's probably going to move next time.
I can move again, continuing the straight line of the charge. Your total movement for the round can't exceed double your mounted speed.
Oh, so you probably like move like an additional like 30 feet or so.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
obviously there's still like a limited area that you can move in.
it has to be in a
swamp.
straight line, and there are trees.
Yeah. So, but again, you would move like an additional 30 feet. So it stops you not 20 feet, but like about 50 feet away from this thing. You don't know what its speed is,
damn.
but you assume 50
It
feet
can
is
fly.
enough to. You assume 50 feet
We'll
is
see.
enough to keep you good. So, either way, so that is going to be Tristan's turn, and then it is.
No,
the
no,
last-
no. I can't do that actually, because you need to charge.
When mounted and using the charge action, you can move and move again afterwards. Gotcha. Gotcha. It's more or less.
So I would be in melee.
Double move is normal. Yep, gotcha. Okay, you're melee. It doesn't matter. Cool. Either way, so it's now the other one's on the turn, the one that's on the ground. Hey, guess what? Because you rode back in, I imagine you strategically placed yourself that as it stands up from prone, it provokes an attack of opportunity from you. As it
Would
should
that
be
put me in a
5e.
position to get flanky?
Well, I mean, it would have flank against you, but you get to, not necessarily. Kind of let me arrange this on a map.
You'd
for
be
you.
able to arrange it so that you'd be threatening it because you're large. Remember, you'd be able to arrange it that you're threatening it and it's not opposite sides sort of thing.
If I can do that, that sounds fantastic.
like
I'm
this.
sure.
I'm just hesitant of how high they're rolling.
So everybody in chat can see what I'm showing.
So far, it's the one that you're currently killing is the one that's
Yeah,
rolling
like
high.
that sounds fantastic.
Because you remember, you kind of would have been like here before. This one like
Mhm.
flew down to attack you, and this one flew past you and smashed on the ground. So you kind of like moved away, and then like came back. So they're
Yeah.
currently not flanking you. He stands up from a prone position, and that provokes attack of opportunity.
So I will do the swing.
Okay. Because you're standing up from prone, you also had a +4 to that, so it's actually a 22. So it's
Hey.
definitely a hit.
Nice.
Stay down. Bop.
5e's lack
wrong.
of attacks of opportunity against people that are prone, it's actually a rule that, in my opinion, it kind of breaks the game in a negative way. It should be allowed as an immediate action. You know what I mean?
Proning is not really very negative in 5e because
In fact,
you get knocked
advantage against
over.
range.
Yeah, you get knocked over and then you get up with half your movement next turn. That's it.
Same thing as dropping a
And-
weapon, unless they have the ability to kick it away or whatever it might
Yeah,
be.
that's
And then
true,
It's like,
that's true.
oh, I move over there and pick it up as a free action, and I don't get an attack of opportunity from doing it. Like, anyway, so 5 points of damage. Sadly, you're rolling low in damage consistently, but cool. You hurt that one even further. Awesome. Viggo, it's your turn. You're grappled. You are not prone. What are you doing?
Well, just gonna try and break free. That's all I can do. Which this is stone. I don't know how I'm supposed to get out of it, but I'm gonna try.
Well, there's escape artist checks, mind you, because you're grappled. You have a -4 to your dexterity. And
Yep.
there's also CMB versus their CMD to try to break out of.
Yeah, the escape artist. I'm in the negatives at the moment, so it has to be against the CMD, which is
Okay.
why I'm saying it's probably hopeless. But we're gonna do it anyway.
Not necessarily because he's grappled, remember? Ooh, that's...
Unless you roll absolute trash. Poor Jake is not having
Yeah.
this
Yep.
breakout moment. You know,
I double checked, Scott. Thanks, I was wrong. If your mount moves more than 5 feet, you could only make a single melee attack.
unless you have certain abilities. All right, cool.
Yeah.
moving on. You, sir, anything else you can do your turn, Viggo? Because we're just pitying you at this point.
No, you can just see he's just squirming, just trying to tear at this thing, trying to break free. A
You
big
can also
crystal
see-
monster behind him is grabbed hold of the creature. So
You can also see he's not very capable. Like his squirming, he's got clearly this ferocity to him. He's got the strength to him, so on and so forth. But there's not much training behind it either. It's like it's like watching two school kids go at it. Zero training, just like on the ground. You know what I mean? So
my hopefully my next turn I'm
17-year-olds.
gonna try and like rip it off.
it's almost like a wounded animal.
him off him. Yeah. Okay.
all right, cool.
Yeah.
Jake has a lot of experience hurting animals and watching them squirm.
Fucking
Wow, dude.
Wow,
Australia.
that's-
We have to.
That's
visit survive.
dark.
Don't defend it, Tesh. Just let it go.
It's a killer be killed world out here.
Did you know quokkas throw their babies at predators so they could get away?
No, I did not.
Oh my god!
What's a kawaka?
A
Quokka is the
it's
most adorable
adorable.
creature in the world.
Which really disturbs me.
Don't get sidetracked. We've got to try and finish
Yeah,
Oh,
this.
sorry.
no,
We'll
he's
talk
right.
about that later.
Stop googling Quokka. Stop.
I found a tree.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. Anyway,
All right.
moving on in the fight.
All right. So, anyways,
Google, I'm not
That's
talking to
the
you.
top.
Stop.
back to game.
Stop looking up. Keep looking up quokkas. Stop.
So game. It's now Viggo. Unfortunately, does not have his breakout moment. And the one that's grappling you is like this grapple Congo line thing going on. Clearly, it's getting frustrated with what's going on. It's no longer trying to pin you. It's no longer trying to go about that method any longer. It's not really working out for it. So it is just going to start trying to attack you instead while you're in the grappled condition. So again, while you're in the grappled condition, you can still make attacks. There's no issues with that one. You can inflict damage to your target equal to your unarmed strike, which it has a natural attack, so it can hurt you that way. Or an attack, This damage can be lethal or non-lethal. It just has to make a grapple check to be able to successfully do so. Nothing crazy there. It's CMB versus your CMD, your normal unmodified one. You don't get the -2s or anything because you guys don't affect each other for that. So
Does it have to make a check to maintain the grapple at the
no,
start of a
maintained
turn?
It's maintained for free, but what I can do is do a because you're trying to break free, right?
Yeah.
It's trying to do stuff while grappled.
Mhm.
And it also has the grappled condition, to be clear.
Hey.
Rolled horribly, it's not able to harm you again. It only gets to one attack. All right, after that is going to be the creature that's immediately behind Gallon. The one that's immediately behind you is not stopping to. It's going to wail on you. So, have a whale of a time, Shamu. Your
I very much
AC is
expected
reduced by
this.
2.
Yep.
So, get ready for your AC reduced by 2. Claw number 1.
That hits.
It's gonna go. It's where things go sour, boys.
Oh my lord.
That hits.
It's where things go very sour.
God damn. That hits.
Yeah, I mean, it's your AC's reduced by 2 because you're like struggling with this one
I will
thing.
say,
He's like,
literally
I don't
all
think
of
my
those
commander
would
can
have hit-
handle himself.
Literally all of those would have hit anyway.
I thought you had a better AC than that, but that's okay.
I got 17.
So, damage overall, I'll just roll it all in one big go.
Thank God these guys only deal 1d4, right?
Only with their bite. So a clawed bite. It's not gonna be a fun one for you, Tish.
At least, like, it's one of those things where multi-attack things are... No, you can't do it all together.
No, you
because
just
two
minus
of those
6.
attacks...
You just
Yeah,
minus 6.
no, two of those attacks did nothing.
They did do something. They have that +2.
Oh, they have +2. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just minus 6.
Thank God you have a DR.
Yep.
Yes, damage reduction is fucking amazing. So.
Yep.
Thank fuck for DR. Looking at how much damage that would have been without it.
If I play a human fighter in 5e, you know damn well level 1, I'm grabbing that heavy weapon mastery. All right. Even though you heal instantly by picking a poop.
Fuck.
Wombats
that
will tackle you like a tank and bite your neck. We'll come back
All right,
to the
hang
magic
on,
that
hang
is
on.
Australia.
We've got to go back because, like, I was sure that you had to make a grapple, like, to maintain the grapple each round.
Oh.
So let me just link
If
you
your
this.
target does not break the grapple, you get a +5 circumstance bonus to grapple checks made the same target in subsequent rounds, is what it says.
Hang on, let me post this in here.
Oh, gotcha. I get a +5 to maintain the
If you
grapple
do
as
not
well.
release the
Yeah.
grapple, you must continue to make a check each round as a standard action to maintain the hold. You get a +5, yeah.
But he would have failed that grapple then because he rolled really shit.
Yeah.
There you
Uh,
go. It's +5.
right.
And roll for the other round as well. That works too. So, I mean, because you get the +5.
I don't know. That's some
Does he get
getting
that?
rule stuff, right?
And
Right,
that's
right.
including me
going
grappling
forward.
him. That's including me grappling him.
CMB is not modified by dexterity. All right. Neil, unless you have a feat. Neil, to you. You have what you can give him, Tesh, is you can give him a +2 if you're aiding him. You're not aiding him, you're doing your own thing. Neil, for you.
Well, okay. Well, I didn't realize there was a different thing to do in that situation than try and get the guy off him.
There's always
You can
attack a
still
creature,
attack
or you can
though,
aid
which
a
is
creature.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were trying. You did that grapple check though, but because you can use your spikes, you're still able to use a grapple to pull him off and attack him at the same time.
And attack, yeah. And
this time what
I'll
you're
do
gonna
the same thing.
Is you're gonna use a grapple to try to break his grapple and still harm him too. So
Yeah.
awesome. So back to Neil. I'm now gonna go ham on you again. This is my attack against you with my claw. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
Brutal. It doesn't confirm.
Oh, thank God for you, sir.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, woo!
This that fucker has rolled so well.
All right.
Yeah.
This is my my claw attack against the horse this time, because I mean killing the horse is also food. And then I'm gonna try to bite the horse so I can try to get an immediate meal.
I will attempt to stop that one, obviously.
Especially since you leave and come back.
Right, check.
Oh!
Thank God. So, like, Triss sees this coming in, and he kicks on the right side of the horse, and Karok's been trained to move left or right, and he takes a step to the left, and the bite just goes short.
And you take 5, so you know for
I
the
take 5.
attack that hit
Thank
you.
you.
And now it's Gallen's turn. Gallen, do not fail us. Roll well, my friend.
So what am I rolling? CMB +5.
Are you sure
right?
you want this to be session 3?
There's a difference between the grapple check to maintain a grapple, which isn't what hurts him. That's just to maintain the
okay.
grapple. And then there's the grapple check to do what you're trying to do, which is break the other grapple. So do the +5 one to not lose your own grapple.
Oh, so I got to do that first.
You got to do 2. Yeah.
Yep. And then you do your regular one to try to break the other guy's grapple, which is the one that would impose the damage. Okay, you easily maintain
I would have loved that one.
Yep. And now you got to get the CMB to break the grapple. Now I do have a modified CMD. It's not the high. Oh God. Okay.
Luckily,
never mind.
because I'm still grappled, I would do the damage, I imagine.
Yep.
Mm.
You just don't succeed.
So there's
in what
that
you're
at
trying to
least. Ooh, that's a nice one. 8 damage at least.
do. 8 damage, and that's the one that's against Viggo.
Yeah, I
That's the
can't
second
believe
time it's
I'm
taken
gonna be
damage?
fucked.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah, you're kind of screwed because you just keep failing on those grapple attempts. All right, Tristan, it's your turn. And even Viggo, he can't even do anything until he succeeds at doing something. Just feel bad.
So Jack raised a valid point at the current time, considering the amount of damage I've been taking, which is obviously how are we looking on limit breakers, Scott?
You already have them.
And I got a level 2 one, right?
I told you that in
I'm just
okay.
double checking.
Yeah.
I would like to use my limit breaker on the one that has the highest health, the one that I've attacked least, which I think is like on my right in theory.
I didn't make command like a.
I know
macros
we've
for
not got there
liberation,
yet.
but we're going to have those 3 characters, level 1 through
So,
5.
so this is target one enemy, 3d8, reflex save or
shit,
prone.
Okay.
How
So-
does that work in terms of hitting?
Let me actually look what I've written inside of our little secrety chatty thing.
Let me copy and paste.
Did you pin them?
Yeah,
I think I did. Pin
He
them. Yep.
did.
Yep.
Oh, he pinned the 2 that are
Yeah.
done.
Holy flesh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're a level 2 hype train, right? You're the lower
Mhm.
one?
Yeah.
So there's one enemy, 3d6. Yep. So more or less, you activate that as part of your attack. And it does
Like a
that.
smite.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So is it if I hit, I activate it, or I have to choose to activate it before, just so we get the semantics down?
Ooh, that's a really good question. It's a gift from. So the way it works in Pathfinder is you usually make decisions before you make your attack roll.
Mhm.
5e is way more forgiving than Pathfinder.
Yeah.
I would say this. You're going for the big blow on this one, and if you miss, it's wasted. Which is
Okay, right.
fizzles are painful. They are painful, but that's
Hey,
Pathfinder.
watch me roll a 1 now. All right, okay.
But it doesn't take an action to activate yours in any condition. It's either as part of an attack or a full attack.
Yep. So part of this attack, then.
You want to describe your woo woo?
If it hits, I'll describe it.
Okay. Don't roll poorly, Neil.
It hits.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
So, Triss, obviously, he's flanked nearly. He's got one on his left, one on his right. He flicks the horseman's pick in his wrist, and he's now got a horseman's hammer in his hand. And he raises it up, and there's no beautiful magic or anything. He's not like that. And he brings it cracking down on the head of the gargoyle on the right. And there is faint, quiet, but quite a literal thunderclap. There's like a peal of thunder that you hear as this. There's no light, there's no nothing, but it's just that crack, that sound that happens that it hits.
Beautiful. Go ahead and roll me your damage before I do the other thing, because I have to see that.
Roll.
This is the one that wasn't prone before. So you've delivered any attacks twice before.
Do I do my attack and that extra damage?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, cool.
This is
And
part of attack.
it's 3d8 extra damage, correct?
Correct. Yep. Oh, God, you keep rolling ones, dude.
I know.
Like, have you rolled not a 1 once? Oh,
That-
you did good there, though. All right.
That's
There
better.
you go.
And then the DC is DC to resist this is 10 plus strength mod, which for you is
Which for me, strength modifier is a +4.
so 10 plus 4 is 14 plus hype train level is 2, so it's a DC 16 reflex save I have to make. And my reflex is a +6 actually, so I have to roll a 10. So unfortunately, the secondary
Fuck
effect
off, ghosts.
might not take effect. So I do get a +6 against a DC 16. Oh!
Nice.
Oh my God! Oh, that's beautiful! Oh Jesus!
Nah.
It's like my microphone knocked about. I bet the D20 was like, "Fuck you!" Like right into my brain. Like, nope. Oh my God!
For clarification too, it's still to take the damage, right? But the effect is reflex save or
Prone.
prone.
Right,
Yeah, so you still would have taken the damage, though, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. To be 100% clear, the damage is automatic if you hit.
It's
Yep.
a
All
similar
right,
thing with
so you smash this thing
yeah.
and his reflex saver prone.
Yeah.
So as you do this this loud crack, everything as you described, just the sheer force of it, that loud crack that again you feel that in your crystals. You know what I mean? Like the
Holy
thing just goes
fuck.
plummeted back down to the ground, like knocked on its ass because of it, which provokes attack of opportunity for it to stand back up. So that's beautiful. It's still technically moving. It's still technically
Oh my lord!
alive.
Thank God I
Fucking
used that.
hell.
Yeah. And then the other one.
We're in trouble over here, Viggo.
He's like Tristan, I need help. All right. So, anyways, the other one that was prone before but is now standing. Yes.
That is a good question. If I don't move on a turn, can Karok use his natural attack?
Yes, you can do that right now because you didn't move this turn. Yes.
Thank you, Norway.
Yes, you absolutely can. You can't do it while you're moving, but you absolutely can do it now.
Cool. So can Karok just go to town on that one that's on the floor then?
The one that you just knocked out on his ass? Absolutely, just hoof it. Yeah.
There's not the great chance. So he gets a bite and two hooves, I
He's a
believe.
+4 chance to hit.
Oh, +4 on because he's prone.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So he gets a bite.
So does that include the +4?
Yeah, it does.
16. Oh wait, no, a 16 hits. A 16 is well, you guys already know when he charged the 14 hits. So 16 hits.
So he gets a bite, and he gets 2 hoof attacks, I believe.
So that was his bite. So he more or less as the thing is being cracked.
Jesus, 6 damage. Holy crap.
That's a miss right there.
And another miss.
And that includes the +4s, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, cool. So funny enough,
He has a -1 to hit with hooves naturally. Because
yeah, I guess.
secondary natural.
Yep. So funny enough, it actually it's still moving.
My Lord!
Yeah.
It's
I
got
like
a
to see.
DR.
I know it was a bite, but I don't know. In my mind's eye, I see the thing as kind of like dropping down and smashing. You know.
Yeah.
As you're like sitting up on it, like good boy, Carrick. Bull riding, good boy, Carrick. You know. Anyways, then my chair comes loose and I fall off the back, like in Mass Effect. So, anyways, you it is now the other one that was prone earlier, but is standing now's turn. And of course, it is going to attack you, Neil. I have 3 attacks against you. This time
no more crits, please, sir.
Sorry, and you already used your ride check once per turn, so worried about that one.
Was that not for last turn?
Well, that was this initiative round. 26 to 10. Cool. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Miss.
Ooh, okay. That's already a good start. This one's now. I'm gonna attack you again. Then I'm gonna try to bite Carrick.
Hit.
And then I'm gonna try to bite Carrick.
It hits the AC of 20, which means it's a hit.
Yep.
At the moment.
Yep. So first I'm gonna hit you by claw.
And you can't try and pull him away from that hit?
No. This is now I'm going to do the bite against Carrick, and no, he can't because he can only do it once per turn. And this is biting Carrick, which is only 3 anyways. The horse is fine. All right, Viggo.
Why can't I get the damage those damages on me?
Viggo, it's your turn. All right, everybody, come on, slow clap for him.
Right, well, I'll try and break the grapple.
Yeah, if you can get away.
Listen,
you can get away.
I have such a low CMB though, and that's what I mean. I feel like this is going to be against like a high CMD.
As a PC, it sucks. It sucks when this shit happens to you. It really does.
All right, CMB.
What would be the alternative? How I was
finally, slow clap did intensify. Oh yes.
Okay, get the fuck away.
Clip that, please.
This is where I go down, though, most likely.
Oh my god. Problem is, Jake, breaking the grapple is an action. So you don't have your attack right now. You still have your move, you still have your swift. I don't know if you want to like maybe draw something with your move, or if you can do something with your swift. But
yeah, I'm just checking that now. All I can do is really take a 5-foot step back.
Oh, you can't move after escaping a grapple?
I can, but I'll take an attack.
Actually, he won't because he's grappling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Run, boy, run.
I don't know how far you'd want to move away. I don't know if you want to stay near enough to be able to.
I can't just abandon
No,
the
you
person
don't
who
need to.
came
Okay.
to save me.
Yeah.
When I say
he's
run,
not Ray
I just mean get out of the way so I can
Wow.
hopefully try and do an AoE. You don't have to move far.
There's nothing. Just let me check to see if there's nothing else I can do.
I honestly don't think there is. While you're
check.
thinking, I'm going to start handling the
Yeah.
next guy, who is being
Even-
grappled by Gallon, not grappling
Yeah.
Gallon. But he's going to use the opportunity to make his CMB against Gallon to try to attack him, to harm him. Does a 15 meet your CMD?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so I don't harm you with his turn. So you've kind of started negating his full attack actions with your turn, because he doesn't have more attacks than one with a. Because if you're like, wait, does he have multiple attacks? Why can't he do this multiple times? Because he doesn't have a BAB that supports that. If you had a 6 or higher BAB, that's a different conversation. But he's just a creature.
Also, Jake, even just a 5-foot step back is fine. If actually, honestly, no matter what you do, I think I'm going to be fine as long as you don't move in between them.
Yeah, I'm going to fight. Yeah, I would have 5-foot step. That's all I can do.
Okay. Do you want to do anything with move action, like say draw something that's in your pack, so you don't have to worry about it next turn?
No, next turn.
Something in your hand?
Nope.
So empty-handed. Okay. Back to you, Gallon. Now
don't
it's the
think
other
no,
guy,
yeah.
the one that came to approach you.
Yeah, it's I got to
The
survive
uninjured
this
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh fuck! That hits this AC now.
Because this is one that's not grappling you, so he has full everything.
Yeah.
He's got the benefits.
Shit!
So-
It has to roll really low not to hit me.
So that one can't drop you. Now it's the second attack against you.
Oh come on! That was almost a 1.
That may have already dropped you. Let me confirm by rolling my damage, because those are 2 claw attacks. That's a 2d6 plus 4. So you might still be up. That would be preferable, so you can at least absorb 1 more attack for the party. Here we go.
Oh, what the fuck?
13 minus 4 is 0. You're up. You're what's considered staggered.
No. Actually,
no,
auto
now
hypnosis.
Oh no! Is that a check though? Is that a check? Is that a check? Does
It
that
is.
require a standard action?
No, what?
Does that require an action? Let's Google auto hypnosis. real quick.
I'm literally getting auto hypnosis up now. When if reduced to 0 hit points, disabled, you can make an auto hypnosis check. If successful, you can take a standard action while at 0 hit points without taking the extra damage.
So you can take a standard action. So on your turn, you can take a standard action without taking the
Okay.
thing. So we worry about that
Yeah.
on your turn.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. You must make a check for each strenuous action you want to take. A failed auto hypnosis check in the circumstance carries no direct penalty. You can choose not to take the strenuous action. So more or less, it goes back to the normal rules. If you fail, it goes back to the normal rules. Awesome. So on your turn, you worry about it. Because you're still standing with 0 health points, you only drop it negative unless you're like a half orc or something. I still get 1 more attack against you.
Fucking.
Oh no.
My bite attack.
But he misses.
Well, it might require a swift action or something like that, Norway.
If I wasn't grappling,
Oh,
It's exactly your AC. You needed some sort of little boon, some sort of little buff on you, just
It's-
that 1 point of AC.
no, my AC is 15 while grappling.
Oh, gotcha. So that's funny because I hit 16, I think 3 times in total against you in the past 2 rounds. Either way, so that automatically does damage, but it does matter how much damage. So we're going to go ahead and roll that, not just because I'm a gore porn. -6, rough. So -6 HP.
I would still have had the suit when it hit, so it's -4.
Fair enough. -4. Now, what's your character's constitution, and does your suit go away when you drop unconscious? I think we decided last time it doesn't.
I can sleep with it on, so I assume it doesn't.
Yep, if it doesn't say it goes away when dropped unconscious, you can feel free to check the rules. It's fine, and you're good. But the question is, what's your constitution score?
My constitution score is 14, so +2.
So your character dies at -14 health points. Every round, you're allowed a constitution check, DC 10, minus the negative health points.
So that just a second. So it's a Constitution check. What do I have to hit for that?
You need a DC 10, but you roll with a penalty of health points. So if you can Virgil feed you a potion? It doesn't have hands.
Well, actually, just wait. I still have something with auto hypnosis.
But,
So,
but to be
what's
clear
the
for a second,
DC?
so the
Yeah.
DC, we were about it on your turn, but so you can read whatever you need to in the interim. But so
Yeah.
since you usually have a +2, you're currently with a -4. You roll with a -2. But either way, let's get to the next guy's turn. So he claw. So you finally get the guy off. You rips him off of him. And you start backing away, preparing to jump into the fight to help Galen. But then finally you're free. You're feral-minded, so on and so forth. And you see your friend just like ripped and clawed, and finally that bite attack, just kind of like that teeth sinking in, cracking the crystal around, just the sheer force of the bite. And as it's like biting into Galen just starts to kind of like fall limp. Just in the sheer, I mean, it's been just attack after attack after attack against two people for so long, just coming to your aid valiantly, looking like Beast in, that woods middle of the winter scene, just being onslaught by the wolves, right? And you're of course his little bell. Anyways, he the thing that kind of like bites into him, but as it bites into him and it kind of like falls limp, it then looks up at you, looking at you, Viggo. Next one, Neil. The guy on the ground stands up from prone. Who would like to make the first attack of opportunity? You or your horse?
Oh yeah. Horse.
Okay.
Let's get those out of the way. No longer has the +4, correct?
Correct. Oh no, yes. Standing up from prone gets attack of opportunity as though it was prone.
Okay. +4. Bite.
Sir, you don't need to roll damage. It had 1 health point left.
Oh, thank God.
So feel free to describe it exactly how you want. Like I imagine you drop it. Actually, I'll describe it for you because I'm mean. I imagine you smash the thing, and just the sheer weight, the force, the blow of your attack just sends it to the ground. And immediately Carrick is just sitting there like trying to stomp out a fire. You know what I mean? It's like doof, 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 doof. And he's like crack, chip, crack. And then finally the thing just like a portion of like its chest just cracks open. Like you just finally split the stone. And because you get the quality, remember the quality horseshoes you didn't put onto it? You're going to need to get some replacements now.
Wow.
So and the thing kind of breaks open. And it lies there limp on the ground. Galen, it's your turn. I'm sure you finally did your readings.
Okay. Yeah, so I can use resist dying auto hypnosis, which is instead of a DC 10, it's a DC 15, but I have a +5 to auto hypnosis rather than the -2 to the Constitution check.
But it's also a DC 15 instead of a DC 10.
Yeah. So, I would have the issue is I would have a -2 to try and hit 10,
I'm just
or
confirming.
+5 to hit 15.
Yeah, because
Which-
so you have a -2 to hit 10. So you have to roll a 12 or higher, which is a
So +5 to hit 10 is better. To hit 15 is better because I have to roll a 10.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Right.
55% chance as opposed to 45 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Chance. Okay.
Now, unfortunately, I only get one try at this, so if I fail this, I have to use the con one
What's
next
funny
time.
is you can actually, and technically speaking, you can expend your sonic focus to automatically take a blah 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 on this kind of skill check, but not if you're unconscious. Now, here's the real question: you actually do you have psionic containment?
Yes, I do. Oh, Virgil can use his psionic focus.
You can use
He's
Virgil's.
technically awake.
You can use Virgil's psionic focus, I think, to do this because it is a mental action, and
So,
you can't
for
use
chat's
your own.
sake, Virgil has an extra psionic focus, so
Hold
I
on.
have two
For
psionic
chat's sake,
focuses instead
As a
of two.
psionic person, your mind is so awoken and so in tune,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so honed. You can gain something by hyper concentrating for a little bit. You can literally store in your mind latent psionic energy. Almost imagine like a pistol shrimp or anything else that can store kinetic energy, like a spring. You can like store kinetic energy to later on be explosively released all at once, right? Almost like a snap. So you're
Yeah.
almost like storing a snap inside your brain and you release it. But when you are knocked unconscious for whatever reason, including sleeping,
I lose it,
You
yeah.
lose it. But your psionic crystal, if you have the psionic containment feat, which he does, holds a second psionic focus for you and does not lose it because it cannot fall unconscious. And what you can do is you can use that latent psionic focus to modify other things. And in this case scenario, I'm pretty sure you can do it for something like this. You got to look up psionic focus real quick. Almost positive.
At Rock OP.
Where is Rock OP?
Yeah, Pet Rocco P. Honestly, like, the psionic containment is such a freaking awesome feat. It does the amount of shit it allows me to do compared to what I would normally be able to do with one psionic focus.
Concentration, power, injury, manifest level, special effects, negative, combine magical effects. I just try googling psionic focus because I'm not finding.
Yeah.
Pathfinder psionic focus, to be clear. Where the hell are you? And now we hit the low. You think it'd be on the core page? Like, this is the spot where it should be sitting. Maybe on the feet section, because they use a lot of sonic focus. Sonic creation, sonic focus, gaining sonic focus. When you are already sonic focused, you can expend your sonic focus for any single concentration check you make thereafter. You treat it as though it's a 15. It's like taking a 10, but you get a 15 instead. Ooh, it explicitly says concentration checks.
Not auto hypnosis. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that stinks. And there's nothing else that you have because you have no sonic talents, do you? So like more or less 0 level spells.
No.
Okay, and you have no feats. So once you're sonic focused, you remain focused until you expend your focus, become unconscious, or go to sleep, or enter meditative trance, such as like elves or whatnot. Yeah. So because I thought you had feats that allow you to utilize your focus for other things too, but I think maybe you just.
I do. I have sonic shot.
Yeah, but nothing else, right?
Yeah, no, nothing else.
Okay. So I'm just gonna look at your character sheet real quick, and then, well, back to dying. Oh, yeah. Green. Well, just double checking your shit real quick, okay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
It was worth a shot.
It was. Auto hypnosis is still better than the con check, so there's still that.
Yeah. It is. I'm sorry. I thought this was. That'd be a really cool ability, though, to add it to specifically. There might be a feat might be a feat that already does that, or a trait that does that. But
it probably is a feat. I would imagine if it's not already.
Yeah, I guess it's
here we
taking a
go.
15 on a concentration check, which is useful. But all right, you ready?
Yeah, here we go, chat.
Here goes everything.
Oh, god damn it!
So here's the issue: is I don't know if you're only allowed to do that once, or allowed to do that once a turn as normal.
I am only allowed to do that once.
So
I
you
have to do
lose-
con checks afterwards.
Oh, okay. So you lose 1 additional health point. So now you're down to negative 5.
Let me just double check if I can do a con check immediately afterwards, or if it's just con checks.
That's a really good question.
You can substitute this check for constitution checks in later rounds if you're initially unsuccessful. Later rounds. So yeah.
Okay, so you can keep doing it. Yep.
Oh yeah, so I can actually do it next round as well. So that means it doesn't get worse, which is good. So it's the same chance. It's honestly, you know what it is? It is fucking death saves in 5e is what it is.
All right.
I change it to death saves in 5e. So I lose another health, right?
1 second, real quick. I'm just gonna boom. Bye.
What? Oh.
Yeah. It's the word they're unless I'm mistaken, that word is their name is like it's a derogatory term. So I could be wrong, but the name looks like a derogatory term. So just making sure somebody's not trying to get around with being derogatory for little people.
No, I don't think it is.
I could be
Is
wrong.
it Midgard? Midgard's rage?
Oh fuck! I'm a dumbass.
Midgard is what Midgard's rage is what
damn
it
it.
looks like.
You guys know I've had no sleep for multiple days.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, I can see where you think it is, but it's not.
Like people have been. Thank you, Tesh. People have been worse.
Sorry, Midgard's Rage.
Yeah.
He's blind right now.
Well, I've literally been. Not
He's had like
sleeping
no
for days,
sleep. Yeah.
So,
I'm glad I
thought-
caught.
yeah. Feel free to swear at me if you'd like, because I'm a dumb cunt.
It came from the right place, not the wrong place.
Yeah, no, it was one of the. Yeah, it was.
Unfortunately,
I
the
had
right
to do
place
double
is like a
take.
little sleep-deprived hole.
Norway
right now.
says how American.
I know.
Well, I will
Vicious.
take that compliment. I will
Scott,
take the
Scott,
compliment.
I want to finish this combat.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's.
I will take that
I'm
compliment.
dying. I would like to not be dying, please.
All right,
So let's
cool.
continue.
So it is next with Tristan. Tristan, it's time to do it, boy. It's time to roll that natty 20. This is
Right,
what
here we
Tristan
go.
does.
Here we go, natty 20 buck.
Does your weapon
Was it
only
18?
on a natural? Only on
I'm
a
fairly
natural?
certain with the horseman's pick. Yes, it's
Yeah,
not
okay.
a reduce because it's a ×4.
Yep. Otherwise,
It'd be
ridiculously good chance to hit. So you do hit.
I rolled a 2 on my damage.
Whoa! It's like the first time ever. Awesome. And yep.
Can Carrot go to town on it?
Yeah, of
he
course.
attacked attack of opportunity. Is
Correct.
he okay to? Yeah,
Yep.
cool. Bite.
God damn.
Pleasant surprise. That's a hit, right? 20, Scott.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it is,
sorry.
Neil. Oh my god, he done more damage than me. That's
Oh wait, it hasn't popped up for me.
Oh, and somebody was just messaging in apparently about 45 minutes ago, 50 minutes ago, somebody from work text. Sorry, you know how that is.
and 2 hoof attacks.
Is Neil's attack? Oh, there we go. Never mind. They're showing up now. Oh my god! Yeah, you fucking 7.
Here we go.
Oh
I didn't
my
crit.
god!
I didn't crit.
Oh,
confirm,
didn't crit. Yeah.
sadly.
The hoof attack crits.
But that is a hit.
Oh my
And-
god! Carrick is fucking
One
destroyed.
more.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Sorry.
And that's a miss. Okay.
Well, not confirmation, but still 2 hits. Sorry, again, work text.
no,
apparently
that's fine.
People were. I'm in a group.
I took the liberty to presume they were hits. The
Yeah.
90
Well, the 20 is
20
definitely
and
a
the
hit, which
90.
is 7 points of damage. Wow, Jesus. Okay, 13 points of damage. That's amazing.
Yeah, Carrick.
He
that
dealt
was
a
just
lot more
Carrick.
damage than me.
Carrick was just absolutely like went to town on that creature, like beat the living shit out of it. You know what's funny is literally watching the way you smash that one. Like obviously it has its own experiences of being like hooked around the like through the leg and smashed onto the ground. And then watching the one next to it just get completely plowed into by your hammer and destroyed by Carrick. And then immediately afterwards, you smash this one and Carrick starts going to town on it. It's like deuces, and it's actually going to turn and flee. So it's going to use a withdraw action, allowing it to not provoke attack of opportunity for the first square that it's in. So you don't have reach, so you're not going to be able to hit it from the second square. And it immediately turns and starts to flee. Because it can turn and start flying, it eventually is going to switch to its fly speed after running a bit, switch to its fly speed, like jump up into the air and start like cutting up into the what's the word I'm looking for there? The canopy overhead. So yeah, it absolutely does yeah, okay, cool. All right. Next is yeah. Viggo, it's your turn, sir. And Gallon is down.
Yeah, that sucks. That's really not good for both of us. But seeing Gallon go down, Viggo just, you can see all the hair that is now covering his body all stands on end as he just steps forward, 5 foot steps forward, and will attack. And I get 3 attacks, which is great.
3 attacks.
Let's see if any of them hit. Yeah, natural attacks. All right, so the first one is the bite. which does not.
That is brutal.
then-
That is just ridiculous, isn't it?
2 claws, which don't seem to hit either.
That one hit.
Hey,
There we
that
go.
one hits.
Okay. Poor Jake is getting so defeated. It sucks. Your first real combat, and it's hey,
Hey, that's
you're
good.
damage.
better than
That's
Deal.
Yeah,
Oh.
literally.
All right. Do you want to describe the way that this fury goes? Because again, your character's no combat training. This is an experimental
Yeah.
potion you've never actually successfully taken before.
Yeah.
You know, like, or at least outside of a controlled scenario, right? So describe
Yeah,
it to
you
us. How
could,
do you-
by looking at what's happening, seeing Galen fall, that fight or flight kicks in again, and it's not flight. He's not trying to get away anymore. It's fight. It's life or death. So you see him, he kind of jumps forward, tries to bite at the stone. The thing moves out of the way. Another claw comes, it ducks it, and then he just straight, just like with his second hand, claws into it again, rending at the stone.
Beautiful. Now it's his turn to retaliate. So, oh, and this
Yep.
one's dead. They're gonna remove him. Now it's his turn to retaliate. So he's going to. I feel bad for Jake because he's about to get tag team.
Yeah. I wonder what that's like.
Okay. So,
I want to stress it took only 2 rounds of combat for that other one to kill me.
only 2 rounds after like 5, 6. Anyways, so Jake, are you ready? I feel bad.
Yep.
I won't lie. I know I'm smirking, but I genuinely feel bad. This is my feel bad face. It's not flanking. No, not.
This
as of
is
right
my
now.
feel bad face. Thank God you're not a doctor.
You got cancer.
Oh.
I don't know what your modified AC is.
You hit.
Thank
Don't.
God. He's barely rolled under 10.
Nope.
Why is he?
Oh.
Oh, those are attacks, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is
No, I get those rolls.
the claw damage against you.
Jesus. Max damage.
Jesus.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna go down in a second.
Yeah, I know the feeling. It's just this combat has been fucked.
Yep.
Galen never got to use his special ability because he was.
I
Too
didn't get to do
ingrained.
anything
He
except
was too
grapple.
ingrained. The other one, of course, is going to. They're not stupid. They're not smart. They have sapience. They does move to roll. It does move around you. So he's flanking. This doesn't make
That'd be
sense if I
+2.
don't. It doesn't make sense if I don't.
Stop
What your
smiling.
AC is.
Miss?
Don't hit.
Yeah, it's a miss. That means there's a good chance that you actually survive this round.
And he had to move, so he doesn't get a full attack
Yeah.
action,
Oh,
right?
oh, thank you for mentioning that. Yes, he has to move. He doesn't get a full attack action. Oh, okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Neil. Thank you.
Oh, God, yes. Neil, you earned a biscuit. You get a biscuit today.
Neil, charge it. Charge it. Wait.
For the
Do I
love
get an
of God,
Anzac
kill them.
biscuit?
Galen, we need you to make your auto hypnosis check.
Oh, fucking.
You have an
Well,
additional -1 to your health points, so therefore your check. If you just stack it as your minus
not
to
to
your
my
check.
check. My check doesn't change.
Because he's using the auto hypnosis.
Auto hypnosis. My check doesn't change. It's DC 15 every time.
Oh. You do not gain any hit points. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, auto
that's-
hypnosis is just DC
Oh,
15
that's
check
like-
every time.
That's like crazy good. Oh, that's like crazy good. Okay, and it's just gonna get better.
That's why I said it. It's
Yeah. Like
5e death
yeah.
save.
Except you only need 1. You don't need 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. Tristan, it's your turn. We all know
Don't
what
ride by
you're doing.
attack, please. Please
Right.
don't ride by
Oh,
attack.
no, he needs to.
How do I go about switching weapons here? What's
Drop
the...
as a free action, draw as you move.
Cool.
It's a free action
Is-
as you move
He drops the horseman's pick and...
into a pile of rubble so you can find it easy.
yeah, of course.
Being the head guard.
And pulls the lance.
He
Off
already
the
used his
saddle.
limit breaker.
Charge attack one of these fuckers.
Steve, he used it earlier.
And he'll move himself into a position. Well, presumably he can see this, right? Tell me he can see this in a straight line already.
Huh?
I can see the creatures that are like they've been like having a slumber party with my friends.
We were on the edge, so.
They've repositioned themselves. So this way, then this way. And then they were kind of like just grappling around each other. I would say there's a 25% chance they're in a straight line, though I don't think you can hurt people in a straight line anyways. You know what I mean? It's not like it matters. You can only hit one person no matter what with the charge attack.
Oh yeah, no, I just want to charge.
Oh yeah, you got that.
I
Yes,
wanna,
you got that.
Yeah.
And you're
Okay,
gonna go
cool.
against the one that's currently just went to town on Viggo because that's the
Yes.
most injured one. Yes.
Yes.
Jake did not, but it doesn't make sense for Jake to use it in this scenario.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a limit break, but I would have killed both of us if I used it.
Yeah, it didn't make sense for you.
Okay. Well,
There-
mounted
there's
charge
no-
then
There's no like friendly fire
with the
AoE.
with the lance.
Yeah, I can't like not just avoid these two.
Oh, for a second there, I thought we were about to have the big kaboom. Oh,
It was
boy.
close. It was
Oh,
close.
Boy.
That's still like it's gotta be a big kaboom.
Yeah,
Because
that's
like
still-
look at the my god, the crit damage.
Okay.
So he just killed Gallon. Did one hit.
Yeah, you
With
just,
his DR, that would kill Gallon.
sir, you yeah, we get you to -1, so you can still stabilize. Sir, you want to go ahead and describe how it is you destroy the creature that still had 22 health points left?
So Viggo is desperately fighting these two creatures. And then he hears hoofbeats and they get louder. And Karok's a big horse and he's got leather barding, and Triss is on top and he's got plate on. So you hear the clanking, the hoofbeats, everything gets closer. And all of a sudden you see just the lance drop down at the perfect time for the couch and it just drives into the beast and shatters the top. Like it just splits. And then, unfortunately, I'm going to continue with my ride by in a straight line, about
Okay.
20, 30 feet away, dependent on the distances I've already covered.
Yeah. Oh, we originally discussed.
That mean
being
you can
about
do it
25
again
feet away
next
from them.
term?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why he's
Oh,
doing
okay.
it.
That's exactly
shit.
why he needs
Yeah.
to do the ride by.
So he
Yeah.
like what it would look like is he's just ridden and charged through this boy, and then he wheels around about 30 feet away.
And to answering people in chat who are talking about statues, yes, there are statues there, but it's not like these statues are so broad that they take up an entire square. You imagine there's a little bit of weaving between the statues. That's a part of being a cavalier and having specialized training in this. In
It's
theory,
not
I
the whole
could
idea of the
require a ride
5 foot.
check, but
Yeah, it's the whole idea of the 5 foot. Like you are not 5 foot wide, 5 foot tall, but you threat 5 foot because that's just the range that you have threat. Like, if you know what I mean, like that's your space because you can easily hit something like that. You don't take up that 5 foot square, so you can
Pathfinder, it used to be that large long was actually only 1 square. Was it 1 square wide by 2 long? I think in the older editions, but they eventually changed it to be simple to the 4. So that was actually something that was before, where you actually didn't even take up 2 squares wide originally. By the way, you do because of additional reach for leaning and whatnot. Did not move out of the way though. You need to move in a straight line. Yes, and he can figure out a straight line. Is what we're saying.
he
So
gets like a
you can
little bit of
weave.
movement before
you have a
the
little bit of
charge,
weave.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, it's the charge from beginning to end has to be a straight line. But again, there's a little bit of he has a straight line. It's all good.
Straight line, as in like he's going in the same direction.
Yeah. So
Even if he's just weaving a little bit.
yeah. So as long as you're kept inside, literally, if you're looking at a map, all along straight grid. Not I mean all a straight grid. I mean you can go diagonally too, but so long as there's nothing that's truly obstructing your movement, which I'm saying that these aren't big enough to make that necessary. All right, back to the game. It's actually so that was Tristan. It's actually Viggo's turn is next. Viggo, the one that was right there is destroyed. Like you just literally you're like and all of a sudden it's like explodes into shards in front of you, and you're like
It's like one of those things for the movie where it's like you've got him in shot, the enemy in shot, and then just And he's gone.
Well, as it shadows, I think like Viggo would kind of like throw his hand up, kind of thing, and as he's turning, like the one that attacked him, like is right behind him.
Mhm.
So he just turns, and then he'll make his attacks on that.
Yes. Jump on him.
Yeah, well, I'll try.
Oh,
12.
I feel like you consistently roll behind my goddamn turn order thing. It's always you. You like to roll in the top left as you do it again.
Jeez, man.
Oh, my
Fucking
lord.
hell.
Hey.
did roll over 10.
Well, you hit.
I get one hit. There we go.
This combat has been brutal for us.
It really has.
And of course, it's
Yeah.
not the 6, it's the 2.
Three.
So, awesome. So technically, you heard it. You know,
Hmm.
this creature is no fool. It literally sees you. You know, the one across from it explode after 2 fighting this guy. Has been fighting this guy for a while. He rides back into combat, not uninjured, mind you. He is definitely injured, but rides into combat. Okay. It sees that happen. It's not an idiot. It's like deuces, and it definitely does the withdraw action again. Kind of turns and scrambles like up a statue, and kind of like jumps up out of the statue and flies off to get out of here. Like for the first time, you see like the wings kind of unfurl from behind it. You didn't see that before with the other ones. You were too distracted being grappled from the beginning. It's the first time yours actually seeing the wings, and you can see there's like wings kind of like. Literally, the stone itself opens up from behind it, so from the bottom of its legs and whatnot, it kind of like rolls out and just gives like a big whack, and it kind of like takes off into the canopy, bringing it to Gallon's turn, which gets to make a check.
Can I roll above a 10? No, I cannot.
Nope.
Consistently rolling a 5 on that one.
So another -1 HP, and Tristan, finally gets his horse under control, wheels around to go get the attack, and he's like, "Where'd he go?" Just hits another statue just in case.
Yeah. One that
No
looks like it has
appreciation
wings.
of culture, art, or like history. He's like, "Oh, there it is."
Fuck all these statues. Just break them all.
It's not a bad idea.
I mean, he's British. He's at least going to pick the head up and put it back in the museum. So,
Finders keepers, mate.
oh.
Right, so can I stabilize Gallon?
Yeah.
But yeah, you immediately. So you're feral minded, which I think actually affects your stats and whatnot. But so I imagine you immediately kind of like turn and make your way over to Gallon like quickly. As this like bestial creature drop down by Gallon, and you do what?
Well,
You have
I'm going to.
You have the unmodified herb.
I also have a healer's kit in my bag
Oh, cool. Use the healer's kit.
and surgeon tools. So
Surgeon tools are for long-term care, not for.
He wakes up and he's like, "Oh, thank God!" And Viggo's like,
what?
"Oh, I took your, I took your
long
leg
care
off."
because it's +3 on heal when treating wounds. So that'd be for healing. Yeah.
No, treating wounds is a very specific thing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and
We'll need that later.
stabilize him with the healer's kit. Do you get any bonuses for a healer's kit?
Well, it requires a healer's kit, I believe, to do it. But let me just double check that. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't cause you any damage right now.
No.
I hope.
I
So
mean, luckily
provide
we
first
have
aid.
a couple turns till I die.
Provide
So-
first aid is how you stabilize. Provide first aid is if a creature is at negative health points, you can make him stable. A character regains one standard action. You can always. So if you have a healer's kit, that gives you a +2. And you also requires a first aid kit to do certain other things like treat deadly wounds and whatnot. It takes up 2 uses of your first aid kit. So that's right. If you have to, because first aid kit has 10 uses. You have to use it for things like treat deadly wounds, which is what you were talking about a moment ago, or whatnot. If you have a masterwork first aid kit, it gives you an additional +2. So I don't think you have a masterwork one, but you can still use the herbs, the healing herbs that you have. So and those gave you, I said, a +4 to healing checks. So you didn't make a salve. You didn't make a salve out of it, so it's a +2 in the raw form.
So +2 right now onto my check.
Yeah.
What is the check to stabilize him?
So it's just a DC 15 heal check. So I don't know what your normal skill is, but you're adding 2 from using one of your herbs. So remove. You have 6 left. I
I
think.
pray to God that you're well trained in this.
There we go.
Gee, I don't think you could have failed.
He well trained in this.
I am well trained in this.
Awesome.
Norby's
so
suggesting that you can stabilize without even a check. If you have a healer's kit, but I know that's a 5e thing. I don't know of that from this system.
So as a note, like his armor is like the crystal on his back is like all torn up, but it's almost like so deep you can see normal blood coming out of the wounds in the crystal.
Okay.
So it's that sort of like you're like, oh, these are bad.
Yeah, what would happen was he'd be seeing like the crystal is shattered in places and things like that. You'd see you bleeding. He'd use his elongated claws to kind of rip some of the crystal to get at you to like start patching you up. Yeah.
By the way, I just saw this. I'm copy and pasting this from the modifier section. So it says equipment healer's kit gives you a +2 circumstance bonus to healing checks. It actually says that there. So it's not the master one. Yeah. So it would have been a 20 total, to be clear.
Nice.
But so you have to re-roll because of what chat made me do yesterday.
What?
We're not chat. Sorry. Yeah, I mean to be fair, like what's the chance?
He literally can't fail.
I know if he rolls a natty 1 with a plus, what would that be? A 7. He would roll with a what? +17.
So the healer's kit's a +2, right? So +17 I'm rolling with.
Yeah.
So he automatically succeeds.
There you go.
Yeah, to get a 15. Can't fail.
A natty 1 is So just to be consistent with last night, okay, Joey and everyone else.
I did roll knowledge nature green.
He did roll knowledge. Yeah, you are completely correct.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's his thing.
I don't have to roll heal.
Don't worry about it.
Roll knowledge nature.
It is absolutely
Ooh.
a ability of his.
That is fucking awesome.
Nope. Don't sweat it. Anyways, back to game.
So I'm at 0 now, am I? Or do I stay at -7?
You're at -7. Now,
Okay.
if anybody has healing magic, they could do that, or he could start trying to treat your deadly wounds, which is probably a good idea to do for all of you. We do have to end the stream though because but to treat deadly wounds.
Holy shit! I didn't even realize the time.
To treat deadly wounds, it takes 1 hour of work to work on you. In doing so, he uses 2 uses of his healer's kit. By the way, Jake, you totally didn't use your healer's kit because it would have used up a use, so you didn't do that. It uses up 2 uses out of the 10 of your healer's kit. When treating deadly wounds, you restore health points to the. It restores 1 point per level. What level are you, Jake? Tesh.
3.
So that's 3. If you exceed the DC by 5 or more, you add your wisdom modifier if positive to this amount. What's your wisdom modifier?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, my wisdom modifier. Currently 0.
So you don't add any of that. So all you do is he could heal you 3 health points with treat deadly wounds, and it takes an hour for him to do it. DC 20.
Jesus.
Yeah, but he does not get the +2 for using the healer's kit in this scenario. He just uses up uses without.
Well,
the
I'm
+2.
fucked.
Hold on. The downside is if you don't use a healer's kit, you take a -2 penalty. Okay.
Is this where the surgeon's tools would come in then?
What does the surgeon's tools do?
+3.
Yes, and those don't have uses.
Yeah, when
That's
treating
it.
wounds. No,
So you would roll. I don't know what's your modifier.
My flat modifier is a. Hang on, let me clear this thing away. It's 13 plus 3 for the ones.
So +16.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is roll a 4 to be successful in treating his deadly wounds. To me, it makes sense that amongst the statues, you would immediately start trying to treat his deadly wounds to try to make sure that he was not just stabilized, but also maybe potentially standing up, which obviously he won't. But. So
you don't want to be going through a swamp with open wounds.
While you're there, I imagine you're going to go ahead and make that check while Tristan is standing guard. Tristan, roll me a perception. You roll me your check. We're not going to do any RP about what just transpired until next session. Beautiful. Perception check. I thought that was his roll. Now I have to wait for Jake to not roll terribly. Okay, we're good. So, and it doesn't matter if you didn't beat it by 5 or more because you don't have a wisdom anyways. So you heal 3, Tesh, bringing you back up to what? -4?
Yes.
Okay. So you're at -4, which is fine.
Yeah.
Now,
If if Triss does look over, it's when you see him working on him, it's not clean. Just so you know.
there will be
Do
scars
you still look like an animal?
Yeah.
the entire time.
Wait, this takes.
I'd like to make one more charge
hour.
attack,
An hour.
please.
He would revert back 30 minutes in.
You know what the issue is, right? That we have a furry here, so he sees this guy on his, yipping suit, and he's like, "Hey, I'll prepare that lance." So, you, sir, the big question is, now that you've got him stabilized enough, would you also stop to treat deadly wounds on Tristan as well, or is it one of those, we need to get him out of here, and you guys will immediately head back to the gate and then worry about further treatment later on?
I would suggest Tristan being still up. I'd probably say to him, "Will you make it back?"
There are gashes and dents in his plate metal armor, and you can see blood running out from wounds underneath. And he nods and says, "Yep." You can see Karok is also bleeding.
All right. If they set upon us again, just ride.
Okay, cool. And I'll tell you again, the likelihood of you being attacked is pretty slim. I'm going to sit it at a 10% chance of there being anything that happens. So, Tesh, you're the one that's the most affected by this. You go ahead and choose who in chat is rolling and tell me what range of 10 is the target number.
Okay, so is Viking still here? Because he hasn't failed me yet. And if let me check chat to see if Viking is still here. Viking is still here apparently in chat. And let's say low roll is bad, high roll is good.
So a 1 to 10 triggers the
Jesus.
something bad happening. Okay,
So roll a D100.
Jesus.
roll a D100.
I'm going to cure light wounds as well, by the way.
All right.
You have
so,
spells?
Well, you
I
mean, he
have
means himself.
something that only I can
Oh,
use, yeah.
yes.
Okay, cool. So you go ahead.
Oh,
throw
thank
that
God.
on
Thank you,
because-
Viking. I
because we have to
trusted
do
you. It's good.
we have to do RP from what just transpired. We have to have you guys go
Yeah.
back. We have to have long-term care done on Tesh and all that stuff. But because this is done in the moment, and just so we can get out of the way with your spells, go ahead and use your healing spells real quick. And as you're doing that, Tesh, you want to tell us what you're doing?
Hi, I'm Tesh from the Tesh Tube on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Follow me on Twitter for keeping up to date on all the things. Follow me on Twitch for hopefully soon Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter, Warframe, Destiny 2. YouTube. Follow me on YouTube for the dinosaur, the second extinction video, which should be coming out soonish. Soonish. Soon, TM. But actually, there is something I can tell you guys about. Fuck, I need to open up the Twitter so I can see my DMs. On 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 29th, I'm going to be joining Cerulikat. So that's Cerulikat, Cerulikat, for Gardic Phone for a charity stream. So I'm going to be joining him on a charity stream for St. Jude's. And Gardic Phone is hilarious if you haven't seen it. It's pretty much a game of telephone except with drawings. And
It's-
it gets
It's telestrations, but on the internet.
telestrations. It's fucking hilarious. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Anybody else want to say anything before we go? Cool. Then I will
Yep.
tell. Oh, you good?
No, I'm good. Just make sure, the other streams. No,
Of course.
yada yada.
So what was it? So yeah, back to reminder. obviously lost initiative tonight, but tomorrow I'll be doing my midday thing where I do a quick little upkeep, Adirian upkeep. I'm probably gonna do another Adirian upkeep tomorrow night as well. Again, I'll try to keep it short because I need some sleep. I will try to find. I won't have time today to write what happens to actual Valoran next. I just don't have the time between now and then because I'm going to work and then I'm streaming and then I need to sleep and then I have my daughter all day. So I won't have time to write Valoran's part. But I'll hopefully have that done in the next few days so you guys can start voting on it as quickly as you can. Am I going to go nap again? No, I have nonstop work at this point. So
Oh no.
until Saturday night, really.
You need sleep at some
Well,
stage.
I have my kid on Thursday, but like I'm not going to sleep during kid time. Like she needs a dad. So either way, so definitely look for the Adirian updates. They've been a lot of fun. Recreate, like tweaking the character.
I'll do it. I'll do the next update on Valorant.
Bye, everybody. Have a great night. I'm going to go find somebody to raid.